This is the Yes Network right here. Fandom Acts of Kindness hooking us up right here.
Yeah, he's excelled at every level, and they told this kid, hey, you have the opportunity to win the job in camp. So, like, you got to put Judge in this category. When you're talking about the most impressive season since, like, you got to put A-Rod. Like, format, this first year, the new format, the Beast of the East, the Yankees crushed the best division in baseball. McPherson, WFAN, on stage.
Hey, Keith Mack, man, big fan.
You hear me burp? Wasn't supposed to burp on the stream. Can I get a year in the chat? Let me turn that to a Yankee blue in the chat. Yeah. Life. Let's get it, man. I'm about to fire off, and I'll put myself on, because I'm setting this up, and I'm telling you, we're about to be live for like 3 hours. I'm about to be live for like 3 hours. You already know what it is. Without further ado, here I am. I'm here. Let's go. I'm setting up the Instagram live. I'm setting up the TikTok live as well. And we're going to talk about some things. I mean, obviously, the Yankees wake up with this Cody Bellinger news. Hello, Instagram. And hold on, I got to do TikTok live from TikTok studio. Appreciate y'all pulling up in the chat. They was on it early. Latino Sports, you already know. Hola. My boy Chris Gomez was in there early as well. Instagram, I see y'all coming through. Cheers. The Yankees have done something of significance. Did Passan put out the terms of the deal yet? Let me see here. Okay, the terms of the deal are out. I will get this up on the screen right now. Bear with me. Hello, Instagram. And actually, I got to fire TikTok studio off right now, too. I'm lacking. But I was waiting yesterday to go live, so I was like, you know what? I was listening to the Caster. Caster broke the news. I said, hold on. Let me get on the live one time. And we are live across platforms. Shout out to you. Chef Mamba in the chat says, Belly is back now. Go do the next thing. Word. You got Cody Bellinger. Now go do the next thing. Whatever that may be. Bullpen, another right-handed bat, whatever that may be. Stoner Detectives, you're shout out to Phil from Shirley, reposting the stream. Instagram, what's up? I'll tell you guys on Instagram, this stream is going to be a 3-hour stream at the minimum, and it is probably better for you to watch on my YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Maybe even better on TikTok, but I've been neglecting Instagram, so I'm here. You can hear me. You can see me. Make sure on Instagram, I just have my AirPods in, my Technique AirPods. Let me know if you guys can hear me on Instagram good. On YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, I know you guys can hear me because I'm on my studio microphone and you're looking at me through the studio camera. So let's bring it up, man. Jeff Passan, shout out to Passan. I'm about to text Passan like, thank you, bro. It's not even him. I should text Cashman, thank you, bro. But just for giving us something here. Cody Bellinger's deal with the Yankees is for 5 years, $162.5 million. There are opt-outs after the second and third season, a $20 million signing bonus, and a full no-trade clause. I will clap it up for Instagram, but, I mean, on YouTube, and Twitter, I'm on StreamYard, so we could just hit a round of applause for Cody Bellinger, Clay Bellinger, and the Bellinger family. $20 million signing bonus. You knew where he wanted to be. You know, and Scott Boras is right up in Boston right now with Ranger Suarez because they announced him. So, I just had heard that, and I was like, man, are they going to prolong this Bellinger thing? Are they going to literally, because Boris is up there in Boston, are they going to prolong this Bellinger thing another night? It is now January 21st, and we're coming up on now 10 days left in the month, and we're really losing days as far as guys getting down to spring training. I don't know Cody Bellinger, but I know Cody Bellinger enough, and his dad Clay had been around the ballpark enough and had spoken about him wanting to be a Yankee, and this is where he wanted to be. He had a resurgent year as a Yankee this year. It makes perfect sense, right? But, I know that listen to what I'm saying now. I know that his issue with Boris from last time, if you recall, the Boris 5. I was on the fan talking about the Boris 5. Bellinger, Chapman, JD Martinez, Jordan Montgomery, and Blake Snell. Those were the Boris 5. Scott Boris played the long game so much with those guys, I think, in 2022, that it prolonged them getting into spring training, and it messed up all of their seasons. They either weren't the same or were injured, because these are baseball players. They're creatures of habit. They're very used to okay, February comes, boom, I'm going to Tampa. Boom, I'm going to Arizona. Boom, I'm getting set up for the preseason, for, playing games and throwing again and running again and swinging again and getting into baseball shape. So I know Cody Bellinger at age 30 going on 31, I know he didn't want to prolong this. I know Boris would have waited until February 20-something like he did with Bryce Harper all those years ago, but Bryce Harper was younger and a different type of player. Congratulations again to Cody Bellinger, Clay Bellinger, and the Bellinger family. I'm happy for them, because the Yankees did not want to go any higher. They really didn't. I put a video out last week where I was trying to stretch the Yankees. I was like, maybe the Yankees go 6 years. No, they learned from this last contract with DJ LeMahieu. 6 years is too much for a guy over 30. It's too much. It's too much. They're paying DJ $15 million this year. So they learned from that experience, and now you see the Yankees bring back Cody Bellinger and their whole run it back plan. You can't run it back without Belly. You can't run it back without Belly. And you know what? Also, you can't prolong this for the fan base, because we were starting to sour on the guy. We were starting to sour on the guy as far as saying, I don't care. I know that's where I was. If we don't get him, we don't get him. Go get Harrison Bader. Play Dominguez. Let Spencer Jones compete. You know what I'm saying? It got to the point where it's like, if Scott Boris wants to play these games, we don't have to play these games. And we know, as Yankee fans, we know the Yankees aren't going to bend over backwards for anybody. We know the Yankees will stop their bidding. They stopped their bidding on Juan Soto. They stopped their bidding on Yamamoto. They'll be in on a guy until they'll say, that's too much. It's too much for us. Yes, the richest team in the sport as far as over the years, what they've made and what they're worth, what they're valued at. We'll have the Dodgers conversation in a minute. Let me get to the chat. Again, pull it up in case you did not see it. Breaking news within this last 20 minutes. If you're on YouTube, hit like. If you're on Twitter, repost the stream. If you're on Twitch, I don't know, send a badge or a subscription or whatever you guys do. And shout out to Instagram. I gotta actually fire off. I didn't even fire off my silly rabbit. I didn't fire off my TikTok live, because you got to get rolling. Once the audience is there, you got to get rolling. So I do want to get to you guys in the chat, but I'm going to fire off TikTok right about now. Let me square myself up for the TikTok a little bit and go live. Go live. Cody Bellinger signs with Yankees. All right, so now we're live on TikTok as well. It feels good just to make a move. You know what I'm saying? It feels good just for the Yankees to be in a Jeff Passan tweet. It feels good to just get that nonsense over with, bros. You feel me? It was getting tired. It was getting tired. Last night when the Luis Robert news broke, it was like, okay. Because if you were thinking about the Mets signing Cody Bellinger, they make a trade for Luis Robert, and a great trade. I will talk about it. Trust me. I have a show on WFAN on Friday. I have been putting together notes since the weekend, and I have pretty much like lined up all of these different news stories. We will talk about them in this live stream today. We're leading with Cody Bellinger, but look at this. I'm already on to Luis Robert. Beard, no mustache, number 88. From the Chicago White Sox, they give up Luis Angel Acuna, who they had no room for, who they didn't need. And I forget the other guy that they gave up. Somebody in the chat will get it. No, I'll get it first. Truman Pauly. So the Mets give up Luis Angel Acuna and Truman Pauly for Luis Robert. They probably should have tried to get that deal done before they wasted their time with Cedric Mullins last year. But when that came through last night, I said, oh, good. Why would they pay Belly now? I think they had an offer out to Cody Bellinger, but they knew Cody Bellinger wasn't going to take the offer. Cody Bellinger missed his big payday because of Scott Boras, and Cody Bellinger wants to be here. He wants his wife and his kids to be here, his father to be here. They just signed somewhat of a long-term deal. 5 years is somewhat of a long-term deal. I don't think anybody else was going 5 years. I know the Mets weren't. The Blue Jays perhaps, but who wants to go to Toronto and then face the Yankees? Clearly, Kyle Tucker didn't want to go. And not for nothing, not trolling the Mets fans, I told y'all, and that, as a matter of fact, let me go to my bookmarks right now. I have a bookmark. Keith says the Yankees need Cody Bellinger, but they better be ready to pay top dollar to keep him. No, that's not the one I'm looking for. Where's the one that all the Mets fans jumped on me about? Because I was trying to tell y'all, Cody Bellinger is not Juan Soto. Cody Bellinger does have some loyalty. Cody Bellinger will not just go to Citi Field, even for a higher AAV. Like, not everybody wants to put on that bum-ass orange and blue. I'm sorry. Don't take offense. It's just how I feel. Let me see if I can find that now. I don't have it in my bookmarks. Let me see if I can play this one. I'll share it. Okay, retweeted that one. Let me see if I can find this one. Because I know all the Met fans are gonna start geeking up because I was correct again. That's the thing about these Met fans. They hate to hear the truth. These Met fans hate to hear the truth coming from somebody like me, who they know is straight out of the middle of Yankee Stadium, who they know wears a Yankee cap every day, who they know is not your friend. He's not your buddy, guy. I just tell you the truth. Cody Bellinger was never signing with the Mets because that would tarnish his legacy. Juan Soto's legacy is I'm going to get the highest contract. I'm going to the highest bidder. That was never Cody Bellinger. So now I got to search WFAN. I got to search WFAN's Twitter for my name and Cody Bellinger. And let me see here. Keith, Cody, does that do the trick? And my phone is blowing up, so if you hear those dings, I'm getting texts from people about, yo, what do you think about Cody Bellinger, bro? I'm live. What do you mean? I'm live. What do you mean? Okay, TikTok says it's echoing. Oh my God. I wasn't even paying attention to TikTok. Fix the echoing. Okay. I don't know. Let me check this audio situation here on TikTok. TikTok, folks, I am live on Instagram. I'm live on Twitter. I'm live on YouTube and Twitch. I just turned this on, and oh, you know what it is? My Bluetooth is that the echo is my Bluetooth trying to connect. Okay, are you hearing the echo now? Not anymore. The echo is back. I don't know. Let me turn this down. I might have to end the TikTok live and come back. That's okay. Yeah, I think what it is it's my Bluetooth trying to connect, but I just turned the Bluetooth off on the MacBook. No echo now? No echo. I think it's because you can't be streaming on all of these different platforms. You know, I can't be streaming on 5 different platforms and different audios. It's the Bluetooth trying to connect, but I turned the Bluetooth off here. Here, this is what I'll do. Let me see. Well, you guys know where to find me on TikTok. I'll end this, and I'll come back. Let's see here. Yeah, yo, Jay Redder, handle my light work, bro. Handle these goofies, bro. You see, I'm trying to handle business right now. I'm trying to handle, a few different things. I'm trying to handle some sound issues. Repost, correct, and here and here and here, and yo, I see y'all too, man. I see y'all too on YouTube. Latino Sports was good. Yo, Blue Jet says, I'm here from TikTok. Hey, some of y'all can just leave TikTok, go to the other app, and you'll find me on the other app. Right. Keith, tell them to come on the tube and stop playing games. The thing is, we live in this 2026 modern day time with multiple platforms. What's the point in having all these followers across platforms? I got 80,000 followers across platforms. Some people are on one platform. I want to reach everybody. I want to reach everybody. Hello, Instagram. Still rolling. Let me see. People are trying to request to join on Instagram. I'm not doing that. But I got to test the microphone right now. And yo, like I said, I'm going to be sitting here on this live for a long time. I was ready to do this yesterday. We're going to talk about John Harbaugh. We're going to talk about Rob Saleh. We're going to talk about Brian Dable. We're going to talk about Jeff Hafley. We're going to talk about Kevin Stefanski. We're going to talk about the freaking New York Jets. Of course, the New York Jets, with all of these head coaching hirings going on, the most firings in the NFL since, I forget what year. We haven't had this much, I think, since Brian Dable was hired. The Jets continue to jet. The Jets want to stay stuck on stupid with Aaron Glenn, and all of these good coaches are available. But let me double-check my audio here on TikTok, and I'll get that back up because you know what? Not for nothing, too. All my stuff is monetized. So even if I'm going to make $3 off of TikTok Live, I'm going to do it. Let's see here. Camera, check microphone. And I don't know. Maybe it's just too loud. Primary microphone, Elgato. Primary speaker, Elgato. Let's kill that. I don't need the speaker. Let's test the audio here. See, and you wonder why, like, some of these radio guys, some of these podcaster guys, they're not tech guys. They can't troubleshoot their own stuff. I worked at Guitar Center proudly for a year. Test audio. Okay. I don't think I'm getting an echo now. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. Okay. I think we're good. Yeah. Okay. Go live on TikTok. And if they hate me, they hate me. And I'm going to get back out of there. You feel me? And I honestly need to hardwire my internet in as well. But we're gonna hit the chat. I've only been live now for like 20 minutes. I'm going for 3 hours, baby. I'm gonna rock for 3 hours, baby. And then I'm gonna go to the gym, and then I'm gonna go get my son, and I'm gonna get out the way. Okay, so on TikTok, let me know how I sound now. Were you there? The game Judge hit the home run to the foul pole against Toronto. It was a good game, yeah. Not to flex, I've been at every Yankees postseason game since 2018. 2017, I was a little popped. I couldn't get to all those ALCS games. I was there for some of them, but yeah. So you don't have to ask. Okay, John says the audio is better. So now we're up and running everywhere. Hello, as the TikTok. I'm gonna put the TikTok chat on my monitor over here. So when you see me look away, It's because I'm on a monitor, gang. Happy Wednesday, January 21st. It is brick outside. I'm not going outside. I took my son to school this morning. I was like, oh, nah, hell nah. This is part of living in New York. This is part of living in New Jersey. This is part of living in the greater New York City area. Like, you got to literally fight the winter. You got to fight through the cold. You got to fight through seasonal depression. You got to fight through the snowstorm coming. Oh, that's another thing. I got 2 events coming up this week. And VNV15 says I sound good on Instagram. Cool. I got 2 events coming up this week, but the snow may impact it. The first event, many of you know about, and many of you are planning on going to. That's at Bleecker Trading. Shout out to the good folks over at Bleecker Trading. Saturday, we are doing the first ever content creator roundtable. It will be other content creators in the building sharing their experience, their game, how they've made money, how they edit videos, what microphones they use, what techniques they use, just everybody collabing. And I'll be the first to speak, obviously. It's my event. And what I'm going to do is tell you guys how every step of the way, creating content and posting on the internet helped me. It wasn't my dad. I don't have any nepotism. It wasn't my degree. I didn't go to Syracuse or Fordham. It wasn't my resume. Nobody cared. It was the internet. I got on through posting. I got on through being a content creator on the internet. So that is going to go on no matter what. Saturday in the West Village, 2 to 5 p.m. I'll see you there. And we also have another event coming on Sunday. And this one might be impacted by the snow a little bit. AFC NFC Championship at Bergen Hall. It's going to be a watch party. There will be wings and beers and nachos, and we'll just be there watching the games. But if it snows like they're saying it's going to snow, people will probably be advised to stay at home. People will probably be told, hey, state of emergency, don't go anywhere. The roads are no good. And if that's the case, we'll scrap this. But yeah, those are my 2 events. Give me 1 second right now. I got to change my laundry over, and I have to hardwire my internet in. Yo, should I play some beats for y'all? At least I'll be courteous for the YouTube, Twitter chat. I'll be courteous. I could drop some beats. Can I drop some beats? All right, so shout out to my boy Party. My boy Party, he's a beat maker. Here's one of his beats that I'll probably rap over soon. And then we'll put up the banner. Be right back. Here is the Ethernet cord. We're going to hardwire in so that my stream is mint. Yeah. I like that. Okay, now the internet is gravy. And let me flip my laundry real quick. We're not going anywhere. Matter of fact, yo, tune me, go to the stream, And I'm back. Like I said, I'd be back. Now let's get into it. We talked Cody Bellinger. We talked Luis Robert. We talked a little Mets Yankees. But trust, I've got a lot more to unpack here. So let's kill the away message and let's kill the beat right now. All right. And we're back. My name is McPherson. You may or may not know that. It is 1:55 on my clock. That means this stream has been going for 25 minutes. On TikTok, it has probably been going for 6 minutes and 45 seconds, but that's okay. We had to restart. I just wanted to make sure my audio was good. I think audio is good on Instagram. Hello, Instagram. How you guys doing out there? Thanks for rocking with me on Instagram. I got some stuff coming for y'all specifically. I've been doing some trial reels and then sharing them. I got some carousels. I'm going to do the 2016 challenge. I'm going to do the, flashback to 2016 and post the pictures. I could not find stuff from 2016. Since 2016, I have gone through probably 4 phones and 3 MacBooks in 10 years and lost all that stuff. So I'm like, how the hell are everybody posting pictures from 2016? 2016 seems like 20 years ago. But yeah, I will do that. And I'll also promote my show on WFAN Friday night. We're back in the pocket, back in that KM to AM lane. You heard? Maybe you don't know. Maybe some people have found me on the internet in these last 2 months. It has been 2 months since my last full-time show on WFAN. Applause for that. Applause for that. The man ran his race 4 years at night. 4 years doing the nighttime gig on the fan. The man ran his race. So, yeah, my last full-time show was November 21st into November 22nd, and I will be back on air in that same type of capacity, right? That was Friday, November 21st. I will be back on the fan this Friday for the full KM to AM swag, for the regular KM to AM, turning back the clock like old times. For the real, only 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 for the real. Not for the haters, not for the haters, not for the haters. Never made a hater, never met a hater. Not for the haters, not for the lames, not for the losers, not for the goofies, not for the lames, not for the weirdos, not for the goofies. I never met a hater. They only exist online. So we will rock this live probably till 4:30. And then I will do a live radio show Friday night on the fan. I will see you at Bleecker Trading on Saturday for the Content Creator Roundtable. And then Sunday, AFC Championship, NFC Championship watch party at Bergen Hall. Without further ado, let's get back to it. And let's continue talking Cody Bellinger, Luis Robert, Mets and Yankees. Now, we do the Mets and the Yankees together because they're kind of impacted, no? Like that move last night, that trade last night, kind of signaled to everybody that, hey, Cody Bellinger's not going to sign with the Mets. And and I'm laughing. User 637263. Keith, is that your real hair? Bro, what the hell? Why would I wear a fake, would I wear a wig? People trip me out with that, yo. I whip my hair back and forth. I whip my hair back and forth. I whip my hair back and forth. Why would I wear it? Why would I have fake hair, bro? What sense does that make? I'm a grown-ass man, dog. I'm a grown-ass man, dog. Why would I have fake hair? Actually, I actually want to wear the Yankee hat proudly. Because the Yankees actually did something of substance out here. The Yankees actually made a move out here. But that was funny. Yeah. Oh, this is a white guy in the chat. He says, impressive. I want to see it fro out. Well, if you want to see this turn into a fro, you'd have to go back to 2019, 2020. I used to have a fro, and then the pandemic hit, and they closed all the barbershops. And for my brothers in the chat, the coiler. There used to be this coiler that got big where you could make the texture of your fro. You see the motion I'm doing? Any brothers in the chat understand what I'm talking about? The coiler started to lock my hair up because it made your hair go into circles. So I basically, who's calling me right now, bro? I basically I started to form locks during the pandemic. And shout out to Mom Dukes if Mom Dukes is watching on any of these platforms. I think it was like Father's Day of 2020. And I'm sitting there and my mom was like, let me see your hair. She's like, you starting to grow locks. And I had her twist me up the starter locks. And now I think we're going on 8 years. It's 2026. Long hair, don't care. And listen, bro, a lot of these dudes out here are bald. A lot of these dudes out here are balding. A lot of these dudes have receding hairlines. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Anyway, yeah, back to what we're supposed to be talking about, right? The Yankees got Cody Bellinger. And look, Cody Bellinger is not an elite player. Cody Bellinger is not a MVP caliber player anymore. But is he a good player? Yes. And is he needed on this Yankees team? Yes. Yes. Because I was talking last night, shout out to the 2 a.m. crew. I did their podcast, Met fan, Yankee fan last night. And they were talking about how there's so many holes in the Yankees defense. And I said, no, there's not. You bring Cody Bellinger back, the outfield is set, no matter how it's configured. You bring Cody Bellinger back, Judge is going to play right. But even on those days that Judge DHs, you can set that up where Bellinger is in right, Trent Grisham's in center field, and Spencer, or it's most likely going to be Dominguez in left. Let me take this call right now. Hello? Hey, I'm great. I'm on live right now. And of course, I wouldn't expect you to know, but I'm talking to a couple hundred people, and I actually drafted you up a great email, and I think that's a good place to start for our conversation. So let me push that email through to you. And is there a time later in the afternoon, maybe when you leave or get in the car, that I can connect with you? Yeah. No, same thing with me. But Cody Bellinger just signed, so I'm live talking to fellow Yankee fans and Yankee haters alike. Yes. I was just getting to Ben Rice at first base. This is first year as the full-time first baseman. You know who else can play first base? Cody Bellinger. When Judge needs a day, travel day, if Judge is going to DH, put Belly in right. Yes, it's it's a great move for us. Obviously left field because Trent Grisham's going to be in center field, but you want to get Dominguez some opportunities, and we'll see what Spencer Jones does in spring. But yes, this move solidifies the construction of multiple lineups. Yeah, and hey, why not add another guy or see what else we got to do now? $20 million signing bonus, $162 million. That's more than enough. That's fine, and I'm glad both sides agreed, and I feel good about it. You're hilarious. Yeah, I'm tall, but I played football. I had to give up baseball. They were telling me focus on playing quarterback. Well, hey, Lon, you're the man. Let me keep rapping on this live, and when I get off, I'll shoot you a text, but I'll send this email through right now so you can look at that. All right, thanks so much. Bye bye. That's my boy Lon on the phone. If you know Lon from the Yankees, you know who I was just talking to. So Sorry for Instagram. Instagram paused due to poor connection. And I know Instagram, you guys couldn't hear me because I took a phone call. But when Lon Tross calls you, you take that call. When not even flex it, that's just great. When LT calls the chief operating officer of the New York Yankees, you answer the phone. You answer the phone. So back to what we were talking about here. And Lon just said that, right? We just talked about Ben Rice and Cody Bellinger and how just one player that can play 4 different positions at a high level, how that one player makes the roster construction, the lineup construction, things better and worth the money because he wants to be here. He had a good year here last year, and I feel good about the Cody Bellinger move. It did not take them too much bread. It took a little bit of time, but it's January 21st. We're good. So, again, Yankee fans, a lot of us that hit panic. Here, let me send this email to Lon, too. A lot of us that were not even, I won't say a lot of us because I wasn't hitting panic. There was no reason to panic because the Yankees didn't lose out on anybody that they were targeting. They were never really targeting Kyle Tucker. They were never really targeting Bo Bichette. They were never targeting or talking to Tatsuya Imai. They did not want to pay Michael King. So, what happened this offseason to make so many of you mad or pissed off or disappointed? Just them being quiet? Just time going by? It is what it is. Sending this email. Hey, Lon. I won't say the rest out loud. Yeah, because I'm doing a lot of people want to see how many times you've appeared on different podcasts, on MLB Network, on Yes Network, TV type stuff. So I've been compiling different things for not just a reel, but also like a pitch deck press kit. And I'm actually surprising myself going back in time. Talk soon. And do I have his email on? I do have his email here. Send. All right, and that's done. Now back to what I was saying with Luis Robert and the Mets. What are we doing about shortstop? So what I will say is this, and this is something I've also been saying as I've been doing a little podcast tour here. Getting blown up. Yankee fans are going to be real tired of Jose Caballero at shortstop by April. He's not an everyday shortstop. He should not be an everyday shortstop. He is best suited as a utility player who can play in the infield and outfield. And he's really best suited as a late game agitator, somebody that can come off the bench to pinch run. When a team brings their third, fourth guy out of the bullpen and you need a run, you can bring Jose Caballero in as a pinch runner late. He's going to steal a base. He's going to get in their head. Asking this man to be the Yankee shortstop opening day until we don't know when, I think is dangerous. I think that Volpe will be back maybe as early as late May. I would probably say June because I think they said he can't fall on his shoulder until May. So if he can't take a hit until May and he's got to ramp up and do some rehab games, probably go to Somerset, rock with the Patriots. I'll probably slide out there. Shout out to the good folks at the Somerset Patriots, always showing me love. I'll probably slide out there and see Volpe out there, and he used to play out there, but he's going to need a couple weeks of ramp up. So I really think the earliest you see Anthony Volpe at shortstop is like Memorial Day weekend, June. And I know a lot of you, as I'm seeing in the chat, a lot of you right now, like, no. But, hey, Volpe is this team's shortstop. Caballero is a Band-Aid, a temporary shortstop. And I'm telling you, Yankee fans, we are going to be like, like, I don't know. They don't want Ahmed Rosario to play short at all, but you might want him to play short. Because I think Caballero, okay, you remember Caballero last year. He got tossed out of 2 games, I think, for nonsense. Either arguing with the home plate ump. In Tampa, he was arguing something, or he said something stupid to an umpire in the field and got tossed. What are you doing, bro? Like, he is an agitator. He is a guy that I can't trust. Jose Caballero. If I'm spelling his name right. Let's see. Jose Caballero won't. Will wear off as the starter at shortstop in 2 months. Like, you're gonna hate him, bro. You're going to hate this guy. We're going to be calling for something else. And, like, it's not like he's much of a hitter. It's not like Volpe is much of a hitter either. But I feel like Volpe, like, can we talk about Volpe for a second? Can I zoom in? Let me zoom in. Can I zoom in so I can make this serious? Now I'm too zoomed for whatever. Anthony Volpe was hurt last year. I'm not saying that he was a great player when he wasn't hurt. But, like, I put it on the Yankees. Like, I watched that game against Tampa again where Volpe fell on his shoulder and they stopped the game for like 10 minutes and they didn't take him out. They kept him in the game. And not only did they keep him in the game, they kept him in the whole season. If he's hurt, he's hurt. Shut him down. Yo, you remember he couldn't hold on to the bat? Maybe because his left shoulder was hurting him. Like, you had the perfect out. A struggling player. You had the opportunity to sit him down, and you didn't sit him down for what? Foolish pride? For what? You wanting to prove a point that, like, this is our starting shortstop. We believe in him. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think shortstop is an issue, and Caballero is not going to last long as your everyday shortstop. So, when Volpe comes back, I don't know what Volpe's going to be. I really don't. I don't know what to tell you about what Volpe's going to be. So that's a hole. But, I mean, we can continue to go around the diamond. Jazz is your second baseman. They're not trading him. I'm pretty sure they're not trading him. Ryan McMahon is your third baseman, platooning with Ahmed Rosario. Ahmed Rosario also can play second base. Perhaps, you know. And, like, I don't care about, you know, I don't really care about Ahmed Rosario either. Doesn't really move the needle for me. What I like is he's a veteran. We need another right-handed bat. He showed himself in the postseason where, like, the lights weren't too bright for him. But, you know, another big issue is Austin Wells at catcher. Who else is catching on this team? Ben Rice not going to be catching anymore. Because Ben Rice has got to really focus on scooping ground balls, and that's another thing. Ben Rice is a liability at first base because he can't scoop the ball. Now, with Volpe not being there at shortstop, maybe he'll have less balls in the dirt to have to field. But, like, you're turning a kid that came up as a catcher that has now 2 years of experience at first base, but it's spotty. It's not full years. Somebody go on Baseball Reference and tell me how many games Ben Rice has started at first base. I know he started like 15 games behind the plate last year at catcher, and that's done. Who is the Yankees' backup catcher? Can they get a right-handed veteran catcher? Someone to platoon with Austin Wells? Austin Wells was better when he had Jose Trevino. He can't be the everyday guy. Sometimes Austin Wells can hit. Sometimes Austin Wells is not even mid. So they need another catcher, in my opinion. They need another catcher. They need another bullpen arm. Man, I'm on TikTok with my wrong camera. Let me see if I can switch. Yeah, there we go. I was like, why is this camera like underneath me? I was on TikTok with my my MacBook built-in FaceTime camera, not my 4K Elgato camera. This is better. All right, let's go to some of you guys in the chat. I'm going to go to TikTok first because they're rolling. Austin Wells can't call a game either. And there's so many guys pitching for the Yankees this year. I don't know. I'm kind of good on Wells. And, like, not for nothing, wasn't Wells the one crying on Instagram? Hold on. Austin Wells. Didn't Austin Wells just scare everybody with his reply to Cody Bellinger's Instagram? I'm about to pull that up. Austin Wells. Austin Wells, right now, you in the doghouse, Brody. Because I don't like that. I don't know. I got to watch my mouth on here. I don't even know how to say it. I don't like that soft stuff that you did. Look at this. I'm about to pull this up on YouTube and Twitter right now. Because this, you know, and people asked me about this the other day. And I was like, this is soft, bro. And like, I'm like, I guess he knows something that we don't. But like, get offline and stop being I can't even use the words that I want to use. Maybe when we start doing the subscribers only stuff where I can cuss. Check this out, right? Cody Bellinger post a picture of himself in the gym, and Austin Wells put the tear crying emoji. What you weeping for? You crying because the man is getting a workout in? Maybe he didn't text you back. But what you weeping for in the comments? He's back. Cody Bellinger is a New York Yankee for the next 5 years. All right, the chat was rolling on YouTube, so let me go back to where I was on the YouTube chat and try and catch up with some of you guys. TikTok, I appreciate y'all. I don't know how this stuff works on TikTok. I got one gift. I got one gifter on TikTok. Yeah. I've got 7 new followers on TikTok. Yeah. We've got 1,206 likes. Shout out to my guy H&L Dre holding me down over there with the roses and the hearts and whatnot. We've got 62 people watching on TikTok. Why do I only have 8 of y'all as new followers? What's up with that? Man? If you watching, hit follow, bro. Like, what's the point, you know? Do I got to put something up here? I think I can put something up here. Like, I think I can add some type of type that says, follow me. But you can hear me, follow me. As we're approaching 1,000 views on Twitter, and I want to give people some love in the chat on Twitter and YouTube, because we were really rolling earlier, but I was doing all these different things. The Lone Silencer, sup? Keith and the KM to AM, KM to PM chat. Menace says, I don't know how I feel about Bellinger. I mean, it's still not enough to win, I feel. Now let's talk about that. And I'll leave him up there on the screen. The offseason's not done. The Yankees' mentality is we're running it back. You may disagree with it. I may disagree with it. We don't get to make those calls. But when you say, I don't know how I feel about Bellinger, you feel like, did you not see him hit 3 home runs against the Cubs on a Friday night? I was there. Yeah. Did you not see him make great plays, hit home runs, and double up Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor in the Subway Series? Yeah. Did you not see him play right field, center field, left field, and first base as a plus defender last year? Yeah. Did you not see his majestic left-handed swing at times hit 20-plus home runs? Yeah. Like, that's a good player coming back to the team to run with Aaron Judge. And this year they got Garrett Cole coming back. Their whole thing with running back is 94 wins. They won the same amount of games as they won when they went to the World Series in 2024. They won the same amount of games this year, and it was a tiebreaker difference that sent the Toronto Blue Jays to the World Series, going toe-to-toe with the Dodgers. The Yankees feel like they are right there. I may disagree with them because if you ask me, no 2 seasons are alike. If you ask me, you got to always be improving. You got to always be getting better. Never live the same year twice. Improve yourself, then prove yourself again. That's my own phrase. I apply that to my own life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be getting better, because if you're not getting better, somebody else is. The Blue Jays got better this offseason. You could argue that. The Red Sox got better this offseason. You could argue that. The Baltimore Orioles got better this offseason. It's facts. So I feel you. I feel you, Menace. But I'll say this is a good day for Yankee fans, because a big piece of that 94 wins is back for the next 5 years. And that is the window you have with Garrett Cole, with Aaron Judge, with Giancarlo Stanton. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. What's up, Ray? What's up, Peter? Jersey Flo says, let's go get Peralta. Let's go get Freddie Peralta now. Because you know what this means as well? You have Belly. So that makes one of Jason Dominguez and or Spencer Jones expendable. Now, I wouldn't want to give them up for a rental in Freddie Peralta, but they could. I am leaning towards Spencer or Jason Dominguez over Spencer Jones for these reasons. Switch hitter. He has already played left field in Yankee Stadium. I hope he will get better at it. But I think today, if we had a fielding competition between Spencer Jones and Jason Dominguez, Spencer Jones wins it hands down. The speed. I know they're both fast, but Dominguez is like a freaking running back out there. And I don't know, embrace the Martian. I want to see the Martian get a more of an opportunity to become. I think he'll hit for average. I think he'll work his walks. I think, he'll grow if he gets more opportunities to play. And so when I think about Spencer Jones as well, I think about Spencer Jones, his value probably not being any higher than it is right now. Because when Spencer Jones got called up to AAA, Spencer Jones started boop, 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 boop. Spencer Jones started bopping. He started hitting home runs every day. He was hitting multiple home runs. So before we see him in spring training, before we see him at the major league level, or before you send him back to be a rail rider, it's probably time to trade him right now. Slick reposted the stream. Peter reposted the stream. Robert reposted the stream. Appreciate y'all. I'm going to be on here for a long time. We're approaching an hour. I've got plenty more to do. Again, if you're just joining us, there's so much to unpack here, not just with Cody Bellinger, not just with Luis Robert, not just with what I was talking about with the Yankees roster, their infield, their outfield, and what they do next with potentially getting Freddie Peralta in a trade, and who they give up. In the wide world of sports, there is a lot to talk about. We will talk about the coaching cycle and the coaching hires in the NFL. We will talk about John Harbaugh and his press conference yesterday. I enjoyed it. We'll talk about the Knicks, who are hosting your Brooklyn Nets tonight in the Garden, as the Knicks are looking to right the ship and also looking for their 13th win in a row against the Nets, which is crazy. If the Nets are able to knock them off tonight, watch out. But there's a bunch of other things that popped up on my timeline as well. DJ LeMahieu, all the stuff with Karl Anthony Towns, all the stuff with Draymond. I do want to talk about Rob Saleh. And maybe we'll even take a peek at the AFC NFC Championship, because I don't know if you were following your boy last week, but I didn't miss. This guy does not miss. I went 5 for 5. And the 5th one was the national championship. All my picks. So I watch a little ball. We'll talk about everything. We'll get into the rest of that stuff later. Let me check and see if anything else broke from Twitter on this deal, on the Yankees, on Cody Bellinger. I don't know if we see what the Blue Jays potentially offered. But the Blue Jays, I'm pretty sure, were in on Kyle Tucker and in on Cody Bellinger. So I'm scrolling through some stuff here. Like, this is from Clutch Points Betting. The betting stuff doesn't matter to me. I hate when I hear people say, but like, the Yankees are favored to win the World Series, or the Yankees are favored to win this many games. That's betting odds. That's for people to put money on, right? That's to entice gamblers. It doesn't mean anything. It's not something for you to like whole weight with. Like, it doesn't matter. So here's what, Clutch Points Betting just put up between Cody Bellinger and Luis Robert. So moves made in New York. The Yankees get Cody Bellinger back and the Mets acquire Luis Robert. Here's how the odds stand right now. The Yankees to win the AL East are plus 150. To win the American League, they're plus 400. To win the World Series, they're plus 850. The Mets are now plus 195 to win the NL East, plus 800 to win the National League, plus 1,600 to win the World Series. So, like, you may think that the Mets are building a postseason caliber lineup, but Vegas does not view them as a threat to win their division, win their league, or go to the World Series and win it. Michael says, Keith, I'll see you at the stadium soon. Michael, you know this, bro. Michael and I are like magnets to each other. Michael sells 50-50 at the game. I don't buy any 50-50, but every time I see Mike, I'm like, Mike, what up, bro? Michael Santalonza says, what's up, KM? Jack and Cheese says, let's go, Keith. Belly going for the pinstripe family legacy. You knew that. We all knew that. The Yankees knew that. Scott Boras had to just come down. Okay, I'm scrolling through. Nexus Media in here. What's good with y'all? And I see. What I'm gonna do here, I'm going to star anybody that's doing any football conversation in the chat. Let's plan to get to football by 3 o'clock. We'll finish the baseball and we will get to the football by 3 o'clock. I will star what you guys are saying about the NFL. I see somebody talking about Mike Tomlin. We'll get to that. And now I'm seeing everybody back in the chat when there were some audio issues. Marcus Blackman Sr. in here. What's up, Marcus? Armand Dutta, I saw you in the WFAN chat earlier this morning. Thanks for pulling up. Let's see. Yeah, Stoner Detectives. We're going back to when I had to show my hair because dudes are out here getting fake. You know what? Like, I'm talking about my hair being real and how long it took to grow it. But Luis Heel, if you remember, Luis Heel had fake locks, and so did Jose Siri. Go look them up. Go look at how they had lock extensions. Like, if I wanted to cut my hair and sell it, I could sell this for probably a couple $100. I'm not doing that. Oh. All right. Back to the chat, and then we're going to cook up some other baseball stuff. I'm sure you guys by now have heard my takes on Bo Bichette and Kyle Tucker. But yeah, like the biggest thing about Bo Bichette, I felt like that was a Steve Cohen move. That was Steve Cohen going back in his bag of when he stole Carlos Correa from the San Francisco Giants. That was Steve Cohen deflecting from the embarrassment that he felt when he was tweeting about, let me know when you see smoke, and then Kyle Tucker goes to the Dodgers. The next day, like a thief in the night, they swoop in and they steal Bo Bichette from the Phillies. Now, I like the move. I like the move a lot because Bo Bichette is like that. He's going to hit 300, and you're putting him in the lineup next to Juan Soto. You're putting him in a lineup with Marcus Semien. You're putting him in a lineup with Francisco Lindor. You're now putting him in a lineup with Jorge Polanco and Luis Robert. So, like, as I'm talking about the Mets and I'm talking about their odds, they have professional hitters in this lineup. They have guys that are going to have pro at-bats in this lineup. Who's going to pitch? Who's going to handle the pitching? I'll wait for it in the chat. In the chat, tell me who's supposed to pitch, bros. Tell me who's supposed to be doing the pitching, bro. Oh, dang. For a second, because I was literally just checking because I'm hardwired in, but I'm on the Wi-Fi, and then you can kind of like back up the Wi-Fi with the hardwire in. I was literally just checking to see if I was connected or disconnected, and I thought my Wi-Fi dropped. Let's see. I already answered. What are we doing about shortstop? It's Caballero to Volpe, and maybe Ahmed Rosario if Caballero is just that annoying. Let's see. Jack says, I'm happy about the offseason. Volpe and McMahon have until the deadline. They need to upgrade if they slack early. Also, maybe Oswaldo coming back. Oh. Interesting point. Interesting point about Oswaldo. Oswaldo is another utility infielder. Do I see him playing short? I don't. But why not? Why not in the spring? Why not see? Let's set a time for a regroup call. So I'm also doing my own managing right now. I have an agent, but I'm my own manager for real. People are trying to book me for events, calls, content. I'm blessed. And I'm handling all of that. I'm doing all of the wheeling and dealing on that. So my phone been hot, boy. Appreciate y'all watching because I'm also the producer here and the host here. And we've got a lot of things to hit on in the chat. Sam says, it'd be great to have stability at such an important position like shortstop, but they will definitely use the nerds to rotate and find the best combo with limited resources. Yeah, they told you they didn't feel like Bo Bichette was a shortstop. You know who they signed? Paul DeYoung. Paul DeYoung, do not be surprised if Paul DeYoung is I don't even. You should be surprised if he's starting major league games for us. So I don't even want to go down that road. He signed a minor league contract. He's going to be in camp. He's insurance. You should be surprised if he's starting at any point before Anthony Volpe, because that would mean Caballero sucks or Caballero is hurt, and they've defaulted into literally playing Paul DeYoung, who is cooked. Like, he is way past his time in his prime right now. Yes, just depends on the time. Just depends on the time. Trying to set up meetings. Who else did they? I feel like they had some other depth piece. I'm not sure. Punchman says we still need some other additions. Yeah. You know what I always say? A deal looks good with another deal. And I wouldn't count the Paul Blackburn deal. I wouldn't count the Ahmed Rosario deal. I wouldn't count the Ryan Yarbrough deal. Those are minimal deals. Those are depth pieces. Those are not impact players. If they're able to make a move for a Freddie Peralta, great. If they're able to sign somebody for the bullpen, great. All right. TikTok, I am coming to you guys. I see you guys rolling. Prattman says, miss you doing KM to AM, man. Friday, I'm going to do one. Friday on WFAN, 10:30 to 2 a.m., I will give y'all that old thing back. I will restore the feeling of the KM to AM. But, yeah, let me clear through this chat. Punchman says, I think this offseason still sucks. Because who did they add? Who did they add new to this team? Ryan Weathers? Ryan Weathers? I'm just reading because you guys are just roasting Volpe in the chat. We'll see what Oswaldo Cabrera brings, but he's not somebody that is a difference maker either. Yes, Stoner Detectives. Like I said, they need a right-handed catcher. Guido says playing Trent over the kids is going to be a huge mistake. Dominguez can potentially be a good to great all-around hitter. We all know Trent is a career 218 hitter. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. I need to get some water. Now let's talk Trent Gisham. Trent Gisham had a hamstring injury in spring training last year. That hamstring injury stuck with him through the season. He was not able to really get on his horse and chase after some of those fly balls that went over his head. I remember at least 3. I know there was 2 that I saw in Yankee Stadium that, that left center part of Yankee Stadium, that's hard to get to. Right center too, but really left center, there were some balls that he didn't get to, that he either had to play off the wall or off the hop, whatever. Follow me here. Who's to say that hamstring doesn't flare back up? Who's to say that another injury doesn't pop up for Trent Gisham? He played the most he's played in a long time last year. Stroke Survivor Sal says, Keith, you're awesome. You're awesome, Sal. Thanks. Thanks for showing love. Thanks for showing love. And thanks for showing love on TikTok. I see now we have over 1,500 likes, 20 new followers, 2 gifters, over 1,200 people have checked in, and we have 69, nice, 69 people watching right now. So as I continue to discuss Trent Gisham, I think he's due for an injury. I think he's not going to play the whole season because he's going to get hurt. That hamstring, especially in the outfield, it's temperamental. It can flare up. It can come back. Now, also, Guido writes, Trent is a career 218 hitter. Yeah, I know that. That's why I was so mad that the Yankees, who got the best we've ever seen out of Trent Gisham for $5 million, decided to give him the QO, and now I don't think there's any way he duplicates what he did last year for $22 million. I think that's nuts, bro. I think that's a crazy risk to take. I think that's a crazy risk to take for a career 218 hitter. I think that's a crazy risk to take for a guy that, like, I don't know who would have signed him. Look at the market for outfielders. How much money you think he was going to get out there? I don't know. And that's what soured this offseason for Yankee fans, because that's how our offseason started. John Heyman reported that Trent Gisham would likely not take the offer, and then he took the offer, and we're like, yo, what the oh, no way. No way, because it's like, it was like you stole something. You got a bonus. You got this free version of Trent Gisham last year. And now that you got to pay for it and hope that he duplicates what he did last year, it sucks. Sucks. But then Cashman went to his sleep out and told you guys that they feel like what they found or what they unlocked in him last year is something that he can replicate. What they saw in his swing, they feel like is not a fluke. Well, I'll believe it when I see it, bro. I would love to be wrong. But I think those are 2 things with Trent Gisham. If you're worried about Dominguez not playing, or if they keep Spencer Jones and somehow he's here, but let's focus on Dominguez, because with Belly back now, it's like you don't need that many outfielders. You don't need, like, you have Dominguez as your 4th outfielder, and he barely gets to play. But I wouldn't worry about his playing time, because I feel like Gisham is either going to get hurt or regress, where they won't be able to put him in the lineup every day, and they better not lead him off. They better not lead him off every day. That was bothering me. It pained me. It pissed me off through the whole postseason run. And it wasn't a long postseason run. It was 7 games. They let him off every game. And he's swinging at the first pitch. He's popping out. He's grounding out. He's striking out. I'm like, yo, he's not a leadoff hitter. He's not a leadoff hitter. You guys are bugging out. Now you guys are making me upset, bringing up old stuff. Did the Yankees say Rice is done behind the plate? Jack Curry alluded to, if he's going to be your everyday first baseman, you want him to focus on being a first baseman. You don't want him, like, the catching position, I think, has so much more involved in it than a lot of us talk about or realize. One, it's painful. These guys get hit by the baseball. They get hit by bats. They're squatting the whole game. That ball is coming in hot. 2, you got to call the game. So the amount of prep and study, prepping with the pitcher, knowing what the pitcher is going to throw, what the pitcher wants to throw, studying the hitters, and knowing what to throw in certain counts against certain hitters. That's a lot of homework. That's a lot of pregame work for a guy to do that's like one day he's at first base, the next day he's at catcher. They did it last year, but it falls into what I always call Yankee arrogance. The Yankees are so arrogant, they think they can get by. Like they had J.C. Escara, and great story or whatever, but J.C. Escara, nah. Like, why do you need 3 left-handed catchers? In what world does that make any sense? But the Yankees, they got by because it was like when Stanton came back to DH, to have Stanton's bat in the lineup as well as Ben Rice's bat in the lineup, you could get away with that by having Ben Rice catch. But look at Ben Rice trying to throw the ball. No. The team is going to need Dylan. Hello, Dylan, CNY, says the team is going to need McMahon to step up offensively this season. Bottom of the lineup is worrisome. Listen, I was on the 2 a.m. crew podcast last night, and I think it was against maybe the Nationals. I saw him homer, but I forget who else we played against where I was like, his bat speed was so slow. I was in Legends, and I was watching him like, bro, like fastball would come in, fastball comes in, zoop, he's late on it. And I'm like, you're a professional hitter. Is your brain fried from all that time in Denver? Are you still stuck in Mile High? Are you still at Coors Field? Like, let's go. So you're right. Ryan McMahon's got to step up, and I believe he can. I believe he's going to put in the work this offseason. I believe his left-handed bat and left-handed swing, once he gets a feel for it in Yankee Stadium with that short porch, he'll run into him. And if he can hit for average, if he can just not be an automatic out at the bottom of the order, if he can rip some doubles into the gap, good enough. Shout out to Ray. Shout out to Pete. Shout out to Scott Angle. Scott Angle in here says, just counting the minutes to the NFC Championship game. Mets trying to distract me. I'll put a star on that. We will talk about the NFC Championship game, the AFC Championship game, the coaching carousel. We're approaching 3 o'clock. We'll switch to football. TWTW is back in New York. Joe must listen to my show, or my former show. TWTW is the will to win. It starts and ends with the will to win. The Dodgers have the will to win. The Dodgers will not spare any expense. They had 2 main flaws and weaknesses in last year's back-to-back championship winning team. They needed a closer. They needed a left fielder. They went out and got the best closer and best left fielder on the market. That's TWTW. Let's see here. On Twitch, Vincenz716 says, "What's up, Keith? What's up, man? I got to get in touch with somebody at Twitch to be more in their creator community, because that's where I'm lacking the most. I get a good amount of engagement, followers, views on everywhere else. Twitch, I don't know how to crack the code." Scott Angle says, Paul DeYoung is a 200 hitter with a 14 home run ceiling. And that's why I'm saying, if the Yankees end up having to call him up at any point in this season, that's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling. If Caballero is not good and Volpe is not ready, and you see Paul DeYoung starting at shortstop for the Yankees in the first half of the season, disaster. Sam says, Belly was just a domino and the first real deal that has been done. Time to really pull up the sleeves and find some value. A right-handed hitting catcher, backup catcher is huge. Another high leverage reliever. That's where I'm at too. And another starter. Because, like, Ryan Weathers is whatever. He could get hurt, and I'm not, like, I didn't even make a stream. I didn't make a single post about the Ryan Weathers trade. I didn't care about it at all. I would like to see them get a right-handed hitter, most likely a veteran that could platoon with Austin Wells. I'd like to see them get another reliever for the bullpen depth to shore that up. Obviously, you lost a few pieces there, whether it's, I don't know, Jonathan Loizaga, Luke Weaver, Devin Williams. Happy trails to all of them. Don't want to ever see them again. But you need another arm in that bullpen. I don't know what Jake Bird is going to be. I don't know what Camilo Doval is going to be. I think I know what David Bednar is going to be. I think I know what Fernando Cruz is going to be. And I think that, like, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see in spring training. I'm never worried about the bullpen. If there's one thing that Cashman can do, he can build a bullpen every single year with different guys in it. Here's a positive angle from Sam talking about Trent. One positive on Trent that follows the same trend as last year. He will be playing for another contract, so the Yankees might see his ceiling again. I mean, yes and no. Like Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso had a better year playing for his contract the second time around. But I just feel like I feel like Trent Gisham is not surprising anybody this year. He's not sneaking up on anybody this year. And if he is not, like, I don't know. He can't lead off. And I don't expect him to produce the same. X Energy on TikTok, and I'm going to get to the TikTok chat, says, will you do a bobblehead show video? You must be in my emails. It's been years since I did the bobblehead unboxing videos, but it might come back, and it might be sponsored this year. It might be a thing. It might be an actual, like, what? When we get to the stadium, folks, when we get to the stadium, when the Yankees roll out their bobbleheads for the year and those dates, you know, those days at the stadium are always super lit. Let's see. Trent Gisham, Belly. Shout out to Sam. Shout out to Stoner Detectives, Guido, Peter. I'm just scrolling through so I can get to the TikTok chat. Nathan Brown says, the need for a leadoff hitter is so vital. Would you trade Spencer Jones for Steven Kwan straight up? Of course. What? Would I trade Spencer Jones for Steven Kwan straight up? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. What do they say? I'll drive him to the airport. Ryan Weathers has upside. I mean, I'm sure he has upside, but it's not something that moves the needle for me. I'm not like Ryan. I'm not mad at the Ryan Weathers. I'm not mad at the Ryan Weathers move. It's not a move that moves the needle for me. And I know the Yankees love the lineage and love, his dad played here or whatever, but like, are we trying to win the World Series or not? Anywho, now we'll get to the TikTok chat, and I'll pull it over from my and let me check Twitter over here too, just in case there's anything else, any other breaking news that pops up. Now that Cody Bellinger has signed 5 years, $162 million with a $20 million signing bonus with the Yankees. Vinny DeLuca says, Keith, can you do WFAN after 6:30 and still do YouTube? It's a vast wasteland of sports content after 6:30. Oh my goodness, you guys trip me out. After Hours is the new nighttime show. Tommy Lugauer, I'm extremely happy for, because Tommy has been live on air for the John Harbaugh news. He's been live on air for the Luis Robert news. And like, I know that feeling of being live on air and being the first one to speak about it on WFAN. It's a great feeling. So I'm happy for Tommy. Tommy has been at WFAN since I was in college. I haven't spoken on it too much, but like, I'm happy for these guys. And this is a little sidebar for any WFAN fans out there. With me, you got to realize, like, I kind of crept in through the back door. For a long time, WFAN was like, you don't get in there unless you intern there. And I didn't intern there. You don't get an opportunity to get on the mic unless you produce there. I still don't know how to produce. I never produced a show. You don't get on air unless you work part-time and do all these different things, from producing Steve Summers' show to getting Boomer Esiason coffee and maybe running down to pick up Craig's lunch. I never had to do any of that. I was a hired gun right away. They paid me to shoot. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all feel me. I don't know if you feel me. Like, I came in as, yo, just get on air and talk. I came in without any of that. I came in a paid shooter. Boom. And thank God for Spike Eskin and Chris Olivero and those guys taking a chance on me when they did. And it goes back to what I'm talking about on Saturday with my content creator event. Like, I had motion online. I had videos. I've gone viral multiple times. I've had videos that have taken off. I have been seen doing podcasts and lives and stuff like that. I didn't even have a radio reel. I didn't have a demo. You know what I'm saying? It was so unorthodox the way that I got in to the radio, and to bring it back around. Like, I had a thought about it. Like, if I had spent 10, 15 years working at WFAN, and here comes Keith McPherson, and Keith McPherson gets to replace Steve Summers with no experience, like his first job in the building. He gets his own show for 5 hours at night. I probably would have felt some type of way about it. I probably would have been jealous. I probably would have been hating. I probably would have had some animosity towards Keith McPherson. I probably would have been like, man, F that guy. I've been here since 2010. Here he comes riding in with his followers. Here he comes riding in with his raps and his locks and his backwards cap. I can't even be serious. I can't even keep a straight face. Okay, let me see. Let me check my calendar. They're trying to square up. Let me see my calendar. No, not this calendar. My McPherson brand calendar for Thursday or Friday, 5:30 to 6. I can do Thursday. I can do Thursday or Friday. But yeah, and there's a lot of companies and a lot of business in the world where you got to put in time. You got to have tenure. You have to earn your stripes. I remember watching the Bam Bam Bigelow documentary, and wrestling was like that. They called him green, even though Bam Bam Bigelow was sensational. Bam Bam Bigelow is from my area. I actually won the state championship with his son. His son Shane played on my football team, and when I watched Bam Bam's story, he was ready for prime time. He was ready to be a star, but like there were guys in front of him, and I feel like I got to cut the line a little bit for whatever reasons, and I am happy for guys like Sean Morash in the midday, Big Mac in the afternoon, and Tommy at night, who have literally spent their young lives. Those guys are 40. They've been in there for 15, 20 years to try and make it on air and be on the marquee, and they finally done it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm happy for them, bro. I am happy for them. And the thing about me too, humbly, is I'm gonna win anywhere. I'm going to win no matter where I am. I don't have to stay at one place. I've never stayed at one place. You haven't seen me in one place. You've seen me on MLB Network. You see me on the Yes Network. You see me with John Boy and those guys. You see me in the MLB Fan Cave. You see me on NBC Sports Final. You see me, you know what I'm saying? Now you're seeing me on TikTok Live. I never was doing TikTok Live. I never was doing YouTube Live. I never was doing, this type of stuff. I am going to show people this year how dynamic I am in person as well. I'm a radio host, but I can also host and MC a party, an event. I can also get on the microphone and do public speaking, inspirational, motivational speaking. I'll go to your high school and I'll talk to kids there. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing as we're getting closer to 3 o'clock, and we're going to switch to some NFL football. Let's see what the TikTok chat has, because everybody on YouTube and whatnot, we were rolling for a while. Let's close. How do you feel about Andrew Jones and Carlos Beltran making the Hall of Fame and Manny Ramirez not making it on his last year of eligibility the standard way? Well, Manny is connected to steroids. And Manny being Manny, some of those guys didn't like Manny. But Carlos Beltran, I always tell my story about throwing back Kobe Rasmus home run in the 2015 wildcard game at Yankee Stadium. And when I got that ball in the bleachers, my whole thing was do not hit Carlos Beltran, because that same season I was in the bleachers and I watched a fan from the left field bleachers throw the ball back and hit Brett Gardner in the head. Can't make this up. Any of my Yankee fans in the chat remember that? 2015. I think it was 2015 against the Blue Jays. A fan threw the ball back from left field and it hit Brett Gardner in the back of the head. And Mark Teixeira was mad about it. Anybody would be mad about it. So when Kobe Rasmus from the Houston Astros hit that home run against the Yankees off of Masahiro Tanaka in the 2015 wildcard game, and the ball skipped up to where I was in the bleachers. I think I was in 204. The tickets for 203 were expensive that night, so I was a little bit over in 204. I got the ball back, and I said, "Carlos, look out!" And I threw it back into the field right over Carlos Beltran's head. Carlos Beltran is a legend, the 6th Puerto Rican player inducted to the Hall of Fame. He is such a baseball mind and baseball guy. He should have been the manager of the Mets, but he was involved with those cheaters. He was involved with those cheating Astros, banging on a trash can, strumming on a street light, and you know what? He had a penance to pay. He did the crime, and he did the most time because Alex Cora is still the manager of the Boston Red Sox. A.J. Hinch is still managing in Major League Baseball, not the manager of the Astros, but in the chat, you guys could tell me where he's the manager at. Those guys got their jobs right back. But since Carlos Beltran was a player and none of the players were punished, they weren't suspended, they weren't fined, they got booed. They're still getting booed to this day. Oh, okay. They kept their rings. The player that suffered the most of a consequence was Carlos Beltran. So I'm happy to see him get his day in Cooperstown. Andrew Jones is another legend. I'm too young to really remember the prime of Andrew Jones coming up with those Braves teams. He did play with the Yankees, so did Carlos Beltran. But he's another legend that, like, you got to tell the game, or you got to tell the story of the game. And when you go through the years, you talk about a guy that was one of the best outfielders, arguably the best center fielder in baseball at different points in time, a guy that just had a flair for the dramatic, an electric player, a guy that could hit, a guy that could throw, a guy that could run, a guy that, Andrew Jones. He didn't play with the Yankees until 2011 and 2012, later in his career. But yeah, when he came in '96, I was in first grade, so I don't really remember those early years. But when he really started to come on, and I was in high school the year he had 51 homers. I was in high school by the time he was really balling out. Did Andrew Jones get MVP ever? No, he came in second in the MVP. But he made a bunch of All-Star games, Gold Gloves. So yeah, shout out to Andrew Jones and making the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame is different now, I feel like young guys don't care about the Hall of Fame as much anymore. I don't care about it as much anymore. As soon as they put David Ortiz in first ballot, please, bro. As soon as they put in Big Sloppy Ortiz first ballot and they acted like he never did steroids, you're losing me. You're losing me, boss. You're losing me, boss. Like, Manny Ramirez not getting in, but David Ortiz, first ballot Hall of Famer. Let's see. Says John Heyman got his bag again. Of course he did. Boris Court bag. All right, I'm skipping over that. I'm about to go to the TikTok chat. All right, no, we got a super chat. So whenever they throwing money in the chat, you gotta go to the money. And my boy Chris is always showing love. So let's go to the money. My boy Chris is in the chat. Says, happy that Belly is back. We celebrate today, but in the words of Kobe, job's not finished. Job finished? Job's not finished. Yo, we're coming up on the anniversary of Kobe's death. It's always a sad time for me. That's always a tough time for me, yo. Ooh, just even, you hear the deep breath I just had? I always just remember, I thought my wife was making it up. And then when I checked, I was on the couch. I just sank into the couch. Like, I could not believe it, bro. I still can't believe Kobe is not here. I still can't believe that. And Gigi. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, bro. And I love Kobe as a kid. Do I have my Mamba Mentality book over here? No, I think my Mamba Mentality book is up. But, Kobe made me a believer for real, bro. Kobe believed in himself so much. I had to believe in myself at least 50% of what Kobe believed in himself. I had to believe in me half as much as Kobe believed in himself. Mamba Mentality, you feel me? But anyway, we're approaching 3 o'clock. We're gonna switch to football conversation. So let me hit the TikTok chat, and then we'll do it. Andrew's in here. What's up, Andrew? If you guys watched my live the other night, Andrew joined the live, and he's a young guy coming up. He's calling sports. He's covering basketball, college basketball. He's a Yankee fan. He's up and coming. He does a good job with his podcast, and appreciate Andrew and all the support. So, all right, TikTok, man. Let's see. The TikTok is coming in fast and furious like Vin Diesel. I'm gonna scroll back, and I'm gonna just go from the bottom. It's tough to go from. I can't keep going because I swear TikTok chat moves faster than any chat in the world. Let's see. What do you think of Cat maybe being traded? I don't think they're gonna blow it up. I will talk about the Knicks at some point too, because I've got a lot to unload on that whole situation with Mike Brown, with Draymond, and then obviously tonight the Nets are playing the Knicks in the Garden. So let's see. Yankees are dog water walked by Canada last year. That was last year. Tired of our team settling bargain shopping Yankees. That's not a bargain shop. They just gave $20 million signing bonus and $162 million to Cody Bellinger. That's not bargain. That's not, Go look at the total payroll now. The Yankees are paying a lot of guys. Charlie says, anyone have Kobe's jersey here? Nah. Nope. And I remember when Kobe passed, those jersey sales started going through the roof, I know they gave some out, but like people were trying to get that Kobe jersey off of his passing because it hit different. Who do you think the Yanks trade for next? A starter. Might not be Freddie Peralta, but I think they could trade for a starting pitcher. I mean, Ryan Weathers, they already traded for, but I mean like a frontline starter. I mean like actually somebody that I don't know, somebody that could take the ball in the postseason. Somebody that could take the ball in the postseason. And like if you can get another guy like a frontline starter and go into the postseason with Garrett Cole, Max Fried, and insert here, and then have Carlos Rodon for depth or something like that, that would be lit. Yo, I see the YouTube building. Most of the people are watching here on TikTok and Twitter. If you're on YouTube, hit that like button, though. Subscribe. If you're on TikTok and you're not following me already, my name's Keith McPherson. I talk sports. There was a goofy in the chat. Peter Jeanette says, you left WFAN for this? No. I wouldn't be on WFAN at 3 p.m., and I didn't leave WFAN to stream from home. I'll be back on the Fan Friday night, though. I bet you tune in. I bet you be listening. I bet you spend a ton of hours of your life listening to me on the radio, huh? Thanks for showing up here. I don't know you, but you know me, and I appreciate that. Let's see what else we got in the TikTok chat. Just some belly celebrations, and please show the positive test for David Ortiz. I don't have a positive test for David Ortiz, but we know what we know. Brooklyn 68, Keith, what up, kid? Chilling. We're going to do a long live today. We already been live for 90 minutes. On TikTok, we've been live for an hour and 15. But I've been planning on this because I thought Cody Bellinger was going to sign yesterday, and we're going to talk all the sports. We're about to get into the NFL chat now. I'm just skipping over some of the stuff in this chat. Omi in here. What's up, Omi? We'll be back in the Bronx before you know it. I'll see you on Happy New Year. Opening day this year of Yankee Stadium is Friday. Woo! A Friday? People don't necessarily have to take off. And if you get hung over the next day, you could be at home. Friday, April 3rd against the Miami Marlins at 1:35. 1:35? I'll see you there. Do you see the Yankees making another move? I do. Let's see. I feel like Hal just wants to make money and not win. He's not making that much money. If you heard him talk about the $100 million that he's got to pay the state, if you heard him talk about it's not necessarily true that we turn a profit, like Hal is rich. He's got a yacht. Like I think some of y'all got it twisted about Hal. Like Hal is not looking at this as a way to put money in his pocket. I think as he's getting older, he wants to win more than ever. He wants to win his own championship more than ever. He wants the fans to shut up. It's not like when you're rich, like Hal Steinbrenner's been rich his whole life. Like, what are we talking about, bro? Like when you're rich like that, this is not a scheme. This is not a scheme. So I disagree with that. Let's see. Will says, welcome back, Keith. Ring says, Cody isn't a needle-moving move. It's bargain shopping. And, bro, I mean, you guys will never be happy. What if Cody Bellinger has a better year than he had last year this year? Because he's now a Yankee for the next 5 years. You know? You guys will never be happy. This was the guy that the Yankees targeted. This was the guy that the Yankees telegraphed their whole postseason or their whole offseason for from the postseason to now, and they got him. They didn't lose him. You can't be happy about that? I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't understand how you can't be happy that a guy that we traded Cody Poteet for and had a good year next to Judge last year is back. It shores up 4 different positions. And I think Cody is going to be more motivated than ever to have another good year and prove he is who he is. All right, well, here's the part where we're going to start talking football. I mean, I don't know if you guys like football. I love it, though. I love football. What I'll say, and I've been saying this about football right now, and as we have this event coming up, hopefully it doesn't get snowed out. Like, I love football so much that, like, you know, people talk about seasonal depression. I get end of seasonal depression. Like, the national championship ended Monday night, and I could not stop watching the confetti fall. I could not stop watching Fernando Mendoza talk to everybody. I watched that entire post game. I watched Scott Van Pelt. I just was like, damn, another college football season over. Like, I love football to the point where, like, I start to get sad, bro. I start to get sad straight up. Like, damn, another football season of our lives gone, and we're going to have to wait. We're going to have to wait mad long after these next 3 games. There's only 3 more NFL games left. And Bo Nix got hurt. So, hate to break it to y'all, but the Patriots are back in the Super Bowl. The Patriots, I repeat, the New England Patriots are back in the Super Bowl, bro. And as much as people hate the Patriots, don't hate the player, hate the game. They're a winning franchise for a reason. They're a winning organization for a reason. Like, they, in 2 years, got right back on the horse. How long has it taken the Jets to get back to where they were with the AFC Championship? They may never get back. They may never get back. What am I saying? How long is it taking? See, this is how they bring you back. They start throwing money in the super chats, and they say, you want to talk football? I will pay you for your baseball opinion. Albert says, how do you feel about Luis Arias? I feel like that type of hitter has value for the Yankees, and he won't cost much. Can play first base against lefties. I feel like he would be a good leadoff hitter, which the Yankees need. I feel like there's no spot for him to play every day. If you didn't have Giancarlo Stanton, you DH him. Him playing first base against lefties, Jack Curry alluded to the fact that they want to see Ben Rice get a little bit more of an opportunity against lefties. It depends on the cost. It depends on the cost, honestly. 1 second. It depends on what we're talking about cost-wise, you know? Like, the Yankees can afford him. Put him in pinstripes. You need another right-handed bat. You need a contact hitter. You need a leadoff hitter. Yeah, sure. At least Luis Arias, they should be checking on him. But he can't play shortstop. He can't play. He would be a first baseman, and you have Ben Rice. And so this is where the conversation about here's the conversation about John Carlos Stanton starts to come in with the the contract that he has. Everybody give some attention up. We got a goofy in the chat. Everybody give some attention up to you guess 94 who says you've got 22 people watching. Now let's make an example of you guess because he wants to be seen. If you had 22 people show up to your house to listen to you talk sports, that would be a great audience. If you have 22 people like anything that you put out, that's great. If 22 people buy something from you for $100, that's a great return. Nobody knows who this guy is. Nobody will know who this guy is. But this guy jumped in my chat to say, I thought you had motion, clown. So now let's actually give him the real numbers. That's 22 people watching on my little YouTube channel that I didn't launch a podcast on, that I didn't launch a show on. I just throw anything on there. There is 1,445 people watching this between YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, and then another 64 watching on TikTok. Is that good enough for you? Is that good enough for you? Now, who looks like the clown? Who looks like the clown? Me or you? We can't see you. We don't know you. Nobody knows you, boss. But I gave you the Summer Jam screen. I just put you on the Summer Jam screen because you came in hot. You came in hot looking for attention. So, and then I can literally just ban you and delete your comments. But I always use that as an example because there's somebody watching this stream and they're like, yo, I like Keith's setup. I like the microphone he uses. He's got good lighting, right? One day I want to grow up and I want to do this. One day I want to be on the radio. I want to be on TV. I want to have the courage to be myself like Keith does, where he can leave the radio and go live from his house, where he can be working from home and doing different type of things in the sports media world, in New York, the hardest place to make it. I want that person watching, like my young guy Andrew was in the chat. I want Andrew to see how I handle someone like that. So that motivates him, that encourages him. Because listen, the people hating are not the ones creating. The people creating know how hard it is to do all of this, how much money it costs to buy a microphone, to buy a 4K camera, to buy LED lights, to set it all up, to have a monitor, to have a brand new MacBook, to have a stand-up desk that I can move up and down, to have an apartment where I have a room dedicated to just creating content, to pay for internet, to put notes together, to go live and talk to people. You see how I put on YouTube and Twitter, I never met a hater? Because they're not outside. I never met a hater. They don't come outside. Where y'all at? I never see y'all in person. When I see people in person, it's, yo, can I get a selfie? Please. Spare me. Please. Spare me.
Bing bong.
Spare me, bro. Stop hating on people, man. Stop hating on people. Even people that are just starting. Even people that are in their room, they don't have the lighting, they don't have the backdrop, they don't have the experience, they're not articulate, they're stumbling over their words, they're trying to be something, they're trying to do something. Stop hating, man. Stop hating on people, bro. Let people live. Let people do what they want to do and be what they want to be without you coming in thinking that you're somebody that can put them down. Can I get an amen in the chat? Amen. 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 Now back to it. I was trying to talk some football with y'all. We were talking about the Patriots, no? We were talking about Vrabel and May and that defense, Christian Gonzalez and them. So if you don't mind, I will start to pull up some stuff in the chat talking football as we are approaching the AFC Championship, the NFC Championship weekend. You know what I'm saying? Like talking about seasonal depression and the games ending. Like I love football. I love watching football. I love betting on football. I love trying to predict football. I used to love playing football. Let me switch from the bat to the football. Oh, yeah. Courtesy of Monmouth University. Go Hawks. I wish I still had my JMU football, but one of my teammates stole it when I left. If you love football like I love football, you could watch football all day, every day. I'm sad just when red zone ends. When they play the touchdown montage for the last red zone of the year, week 17, it's like, damn, now we're going into playoffs. And each week we have less games. I hate next week. The Pro Bowl sucks now. The Pro Bowl is terrible now. So next week they're going to play flag football in Vegas or something. Like who really wants to watch that, bro? Who cares about that? So what I'm saying is, like, when football starts to end, it's just like it's a long winter. So I see you guys putting questions and stuff in the chat. Hey, my guy Filthy in Philly, Monmouth University alum, does his thing rooting for those dirty bird Eagles down there. They lost to the Niners. How you gonna lose to the Niners at home? The defending champs. Y'all can't be serious. Y'all can't be serious. I'm sorry. I have to do that. It's too easy. It's too easy. So I'm going to load up some things for the Summer Jam screen. I've got way too many tabs open all the time. I don't know if you guys are scatterbrained like that. Like, I'll think of something, I'll open a tab. I'll click something, and then I'm like, damn. Like, not even like tabs. I have like 4 windows that each have like 8 different tabs on them. But now we're going to go to my notes, right? And before we talk AFC, or before we talk coaches and whatnot, I think we just get the AFC, NFC championship conversation out of the way here. I wanted to start with Drake May and Mike Vrabel. And I wanted to talk about, how the Jets are stuck on stupid, but of course they are, because that's the Jets. And how the Jets did go get Aaron Glenn. And honestly, Mike Vrabel, he interviewed for the job, but he was never taking that freaking job. You guys know that. He was never going to be a Jet. He was never going to actually sign with the Jets. But, man, Drake May, he's not going to win the MVP, but he should. Maybe he can win the Super Bowl MVP. I know he had a tough go, turning the ball over, getting sacked, fumbling. Even when he was running the ball up the middle, coughed the ball up. But I think Drake May versus Jarrett Stidham is Drake May all day. So Drake May will be the first QB to face a top 5 total defense in each of his 3 playoff games in a season since Cam Newton in 2015. No QB has ever beat 3 top 5 total defenses in a single playoff run. Now, why am I using that as the first stat? Why am I putting up the first stat as we switch to NFL conversation about Drake May and the top defenses that he faced? Because everybody's saying that the Patriots have a cakewalk. Everyone's saying that the Patriots have the easiest route to the Super Bowl, especially with Bo Nix going down. But, on the contrary, like, they're playing some top defenses. And the combination of Josh McDaniel, Drake May, Ramondre Stevenson, Travion Henderson, Kayshon Boutte, Demario Douglas, Stephon Diggs, Hunter Henry, Austin Hooper, they've got all the tools and all the weapons that they need to go into Denver and beat the Broncos. The Patriots are going back to the Super Bowl. You heard me? You heard what I said? I hate to break it to you. The Patriots are going back to another Super Bowl. Damn, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. My wife's a Patriots fan. Her pop's a Patriots fan. They want to bring my son into the Patriots fandom. I don't know. I mean, I guess. But I don't want that. I can't be a Patriots fan. No, sir. No, thanks. The Broncos, I think Jarrett Stidham will be prepared. I think Jarrett Stidham is a good backup. But, like, you're a backup for a reason. And people will point to Nick Foles getting it done. People will point to all these other stupid things. People even say, hey, Sean Payton went to get this guy. Like, you realize that, right? Like, before they knew they had Bo Nix, Sean Payton went to get Jarrett Stidham. And, I like the storyline. There's two storylines here. Let me see if I can pull this up. I like the storyline with Jarrett Stidham. He is a guy that the Patriots drafted. So you have that, revenge factor there. You have that, we birthed you into this league factor there. But then also, here's the picture that I wanted to pull up right now. He's an Auburn guy, and you got to love, the universe never unconnects here. The fact that he was at Auburn as the starting quarterback. Let me see. Can I not bring that in? I can go to present. He was at Auburn as the starting quarterback when Bo Nix showed up there for a visit. You guys see that picture on YouTube, on Twitch. For the people watching on TikTok and watching without the graphics, I'm on YouTube under McPherson brand. That's my LLC. Instead of making it Keith McPherson, I'm the first person in my family to graduate from college. I'm the first person in my family to get any type of notoriety for anything, to get on any type of TV, radio, have followers. So when I made my LLC, I made it the year my son was born. I hope to pass this on to him. I made it McPherson Brand LLC. Does Keith respond to any of these comments? Frankie, of course. Do you think Fernando will be legit in the NFL? I can't call that yet. And what I'll say, Frankie, is I am on so many platforms right now, and I'll get to the TikTok chat at some point and we'll go back. But I've kind of just been rocking off of my script, what I wanted to talk about. Now we're talking NFL, and then I'll get to the chat. Yeah, Frankie, no disrespect. I know. Bro, I worked at WFAN where I would see Evan and Tiki's show, and people are like, are they looking at the chat? Really, it was BT and Saleh show. People all the time would be like, oh, do they answer the chat? Do they look at the chat? They got to look at the chat, and they wouldn't. So I know people are in the chat watching, and you want that wall broken down. And I see you. I'm just also hosting a show, which, on the radio, you just host a show. You take a call when you want to take a call. This is way different because you're hosting a show, but then you're seeing all these different things in the chat, even the goofies in the chat, right? I don't even remember the guy's name that was, coming in here hating, calling me a clown, saying I only had 22 people watching. I would do the same show, whether there was 22 people, 2 people, or, now we're approaching, we're over 1,500 people watching right now. I would do the same thing. Going back to my football playing days. If mama's in the chat somewhere, I remember mama would be like, your aunt's coming, your grandma's coming, you got to play good because this person's coming. And I'm like, I don't care who's coming to the game. I'm going to play good whether there's 4 people there or 4,000 people there. You can't be thinking about the crowd. You can't be thinking about the audience. That's how you get in your head. That's how you get in your head. If you're thinking about, oh, I got to play good because grandma's coming, what does it matter? You better worry about them linebackers. You better worry about them safeties. Not worry about people sitting in the stands. They can't help you. They can't do anything for you. So, yeah. Obviously, give me the Patriots over the Broncos. And I don't know, maybe the Broncos put up a fight with Jarrett Stidham. Maybe the Broncos defense gets some turnovers. I don't see it. That's the first game of the day. And I think we all know the Patriots are going back to the Super Bowl, and you give Robert Kraft his flowers, right? He had Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick got exposed. Bill Belichick did not have Tom Brady. Bill Belichick had a 24-year-old girlfriend who was probably 22 at the time, 21 when he met her. It's foul. But you give Robert Kraft his credit for being a boss. You give Robert Kraft his credit for being a G. You give Robert Kraft his credit for saying, okay, I know Gerard Mayo was the coach in waiting, but we won 4 games with him, and here comes Mike Vrabel. And that's where I pivot to the Jets, right? Because the Jets won't fire Aaron Glenn with all of these good coaches that have won, Super Bowl winning coaches out there. The Jets won't pivot away from Aaron Glenn. Why? Because Woody Johnson has an alliance to him? Woody Johnson promised him? I don't know. I think that's stupid. I think you saw enough from Aaron Glenn in this year that he's over his head, that you could fire him. The Jets were terrible this year. They were worse than they ever were with Rob Saleh, who you fired after week 5. But whatever. The Patriots win because the Patriots are used to winning. They have a culture of winning. They have a history of winning. That's what they do. So they're 5.5-point favorites. The total is 42.5. Take the under and take the 5.5. I think the Patriots win, and I don't know what Jarrett Stidham's going to do, but I just don't think he steps in the freaking AFC Championship and balls. Like I don't think he steps in and has a great game. Bo Nix doesn't even have that great of games, you know? But he can run the ball. I don't think Jarrett Stidham can run the ball. They're probably going to have a complete different game plan. Jarrett Stidham's going to throw the ball. So if you are a gambling man and you want to bet for like Cortland Sutton's receptions or Marvin Mims' receptions or Troy Franklin's receptions or Evan Ingram's receptions or their yardage props, you know, maybe play that. Maybe you'll get some good money on that because there's no way for anybody to know like who is Jarrett Stidham's favorite target, who's he going to throw the ball to, who does he have rapport with, who is he going to feed the ball to the most. So I just think the Patriots win that one. And the Patriots defense is no slouch either. Now I get you that like they're playing in Mile High and the altitude and the deep breathing, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think the Patriots smell blood in the water with Bo Nix down. I think the Broncos know that Bo Nix is down too, and they're going like that's a mentality thing. That's a morale thing. Like yo, Jarrett Stidham, like yeah, we believe in you, but like we know we don't have our starting quarterback. And I love the narrative that popped up as far as like people saying, "You want me to feel sorry for Josh Allen? Feel sorry for Bo Nix. Feel sorry for Bo Nix. Bo Nix won the game and broke his foot on the second to last play, and now he can't go on. He can't go to the AFC Championship. But Josh Allen turned the ball over 4 times, and that's why he was crying, because he knew he lost him the damn game. Go look at my stuff. I told you guys, Josh Allen is a turnover machine. I'm like, one of these 4 things is going to happen, and they all happen. Fumble, interception, missed throw, and a hook and ladder to try and save the day. Bro, they blowing me up, bro. They blowing me up, bro. They blowing me up, bro. I'm just not on my... It's hard to go live. It's hard to go live, because then I come back, and I'm like, I got 8 texts. Nah, mostly Apple. Yeah, nah. Oh, James, tell us more. James Helter Brand, tell us more in the chat. Tell us more more about what you know, boss man. Do you know how to add a profile picture? Add a profile picture. We'd like to see you, James. We'd like to see you, Mr. Ball Knower. But back to what I was saying. I expect the Patriots to roll. I expect the Patriots to win. And let's see what Scott Angle. Scott Angle covered the Seattle Seahawks, so we'll go to Scott. I know Scott is in the chat, and, we'll see. Scott was talking about some Mets stuff, I think. He said, I have 9 tabs open at least while writing and while I listen to you. He says, May 3 TDs versus Houston cannot be overlooked to fit the easy schedule narrative. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not going for the, like, Drake May and the Patriots haven't played anybody. This is a guy that's in MVP conversation. They're going to give it to Matt Stafford because it's his second year, and it's Stafford's, 13th year? Denver has to win via defense, and they allowed 30 last week. I don't think they can win. Josh says, what's good, Keith? How you been? Shout out to you on Twitch. See, that's the thing on Twitch and TikTok. You just got to let the live run. I told you guys, it's going to be a 3-hour live. We're 2 hours in. If you let the live run for long enough, if you build it, they will come. Pause. Yo, pause. If you build it, they will come is a pausable offense.
Boss.
If you build it, they will watch. How about that?
Pause.
If Bo was healthy, would you pick them over the Pats? No. No, on Gordon Damer's podcast last Monday, I picked the Seahawks and Patriots to go to the Super Bowl, and there was another place that I'm on record picking the Patriots and Seahawks to go to the Super Bowl. No. Yankees girl is in here. She says, I love everything he has of the Yankees. Yeah, I got a lot of Yankees stuff. I got, let me see if I can pull something cool down. Let's see here. Ready? A booga 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 booga. A booga 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 booga. You guys know when you go to Mexico, they paint these. So I think I hustled the guy from Mexico. I forget how much I paid for it. I was faded in Mexico, and I forget how much Brody wanted. I was faded. I think I told bro I think he wanted 50. I think I gave him 40. Probably less. Because it's not 40. I think I might have gave him a $20 bill for this. And I think I was wearing something with a Yankee logo on. So I was just like, see, Yankees, me, yes, $20. Yeah, so I bet you ain't got one of these in your room. I bet you ain't got one of these a booga booga boogas. Let's see here. I got another text. Checking in to see if you have availability to January 30th from 7 p.m. Yeah, let me see. January 30th. I think I can do that. Hey. Okay. So my pick is the under and the Patriots to cover. And I just think, obviously, the Broncos season ends because Bo Nix is not there. You need Bo Nix with his legs. You need Bo Nix. He's the leader of the team. Jarrett Stidham's not going to be able to step in there in short notice. Maybe he can make it close, but I ultimately don't think that they beat a Mike Vrabel, Josh McDaniels-led team. They don't. I want the Patriots and intercept May at the 1 yard line. Maybe. My guy, Joe's McFly in here. One time for my guy, Joe's McFly in here. Joe's, I got to hit you, bro. I got to text you. I was laughing today because Chris from Rip and Wax, I didn't know what he was sending me, bro. He tagged me on your page, and like Joe's has like a whole, I guess, like collector's page for his like One Piece cards. But I was like, I got no idea what this is. But my boy Joe's is like that. Joe's is an incredible human being. But on top of that, like his mind as far as how much baseball he knows, how much Yankees history he knows, and then on top of that, how much like video games, anime, cards, like that type of stuff Joe's knows. Like Joe's is 101. So shout out to my guy Joe's in the chat. It's kind of crazy. Joe's belly is back. We're running it back. And hopefully they do some more. I met Joe's at Yankee Stadium in 2017. And later that season, he went viral, reacting to the Roldis Chapman, Rafael Devers home run. How about that, Joe's? No Devers, no Bregman in the division. How about that, boss? All right. Back to the NFL conversations at hand. So, I just don't think that this is the end of the road. I think, in Mile High, Empower Field, those fans will eat their edibles and they'll get as drunk as they can get. And, they have one more game and then the Patriots are back in the Super Bowl and it's going to look so familiar. It's going to look so familiar to see that logo, to see Mike Vrabel, Robert Kraft, and that franchise back in the big game. And again, don't hate the player, hate the game. Like, the Jets could learn a lot from them. Like, the Patriots are the opposite of the Jets as far as ownership goes. Like, Woody Johnson won't fire Aaron Glenn to go get one of these good coaches that are out there right now. But Gerard Mayo, a former player and guy that was on the staff for years, they kicked him right to the curb for Mike Vrabel because they knew proven commodity that is going to get us where we got to go fast right away. So the next game coming up is the Rams versus the Seahawks at Lumen Field out there in Seattle. And if you've heard me talk about Seattle, it is near and dear to my heart. Shout out to the Players Alliance who surprised me with a trip to the All-Star game in 2023. I was not planning on going. My son was freshly born that season, and I was just like, I can't afford to bring my wife and my son across the country, and the Players Alliance sent me to Seattle. And I remember when I got to the airport is far away from the city where I was staying. Players Alliance put me in the hotel where everybody at Major League Baseball was staying. We were staying in like a Marriott downtown. And I'm like, damn, $80 for an Uber? Nah. Like, and when you come out of New York and you're so used to New York, like I've taken the train to JFK. Like I've taken a train to LaGuardia. When you come out of New York and you see it's $80 for an Uber, but then it was $3 for the train, which one are you going to do? So I ended up taking the train from the airport in Seattle all the way to the hotel, and it was the best decision I could have made. You just really get to see Washington State, Seattle, the Pacific Northwest, the trees, the like Christmas trees, like pine trees. Like you get to see the Emerald City as you roll up on the city of Seattle. I loved it. So shout out to Seattle. I got them winning. As I've already said, I think they're going to the Super Bowl. I've got Seattle winning this one. And the spread being 2.5, it gives me pause because I feel like Sam Darnold might be a problem. Like I feel like the Seahawks defense is elite. They call them the dark side. They are stacked, man, from Witherspoon to Eamon Worry to Leonard Williams to Tank. Like they are stacked. But why is that spread so close? They just put a 40 ball on the 49ers. Why is that spread so close? And why is that total so low? 46? I don't know. And I mean, that's not that low of a total. But I think that Vegas and others are expecting same Darnold. The same Darnold that folded last year with the Vikings. The same Darnold who folded the first time that the Rams played the Seahawks. I remember I did the live stream. Some of you might have been in there. I did the live stream when it was Rams Seahawks Thursday night football, and the Seahawks came back and beat them. The Rams should have won that game. So I'm taking the Rams, or I'm taking the Seahawks. I can't take the Rams. I feel like it's hard to beat a team when you're playing 3 times. It's hard to beat a team back to back, but I just think their defense is really good. I think the weather is an element, the 12th man, and I think Sam Darnold is going to prove people wrong. I think Sam Darnold is going to he's going to shut some people up, prove some people wrong, and he's going to do enough. And you know what? If he can get the ball to Jackson Smith and Jigba, good. But they have 2 good running backs. All of a sudden, Kenneth Walker wants the ball. I had him in fantasy this year. Anybody draft Kenneth Walker in fantasy this year? He was too hard to start every week. You didn't know when he was going to be hit or miss. And then Zach Charbonnet, I think with that combination of those 2 guys running the ball, that's enough of a safety blanket for Sam Darnold to loosen up and just realize, hey, I just got to get the ball in the hands of my playmakers, and the defense is probably going to turn the ball over. If that defense can pick off not Sam Darnold, if that defense can pick off Matt Stafford and disrupt his rhythm, that old man, if they can get him off of, his no-look passes and his timing, I expect the Seahawks to win. So he's out, got hurt. Only Walker is playing. Charbonnet is out. I did not realize that. Did they rule him out already? Zach Charbonnet injury. Did they rule him out? Yeah, they confirmed he was out yesterday. I wonder who their next running back is. He tore his ACL. I didn't catch that. I guess because I turned that Niners game off. because they were getting smoked. I didn't realize Zach Charbonnet tore his ACL. So that's a little plot twist, too. That's another reason why the spread is probably low. Damn, that's tough. Yeah, when he left the game, I didn't realize that he tore his ACL. Ends his season. Drew that in the chat says, Belly, it's funny because I've been live now since the Belly news broke 2 hours ago, and I see people pulling up in the chat like, Belly, like, bro, we talked about Belly. I'll bring it back around at some point, but, you know, we're going to talk about the Knicks and the Nets coming up too. We're just talking NFL as far as the NFC, AFC matchups go. And thanks for the heads up on the Zach Charbonnet injury. But, yeah, I was going to do my deep dive into the injury report Friday before my show on WFAN Friday night. I did not realize Zach Charbonnet was ruled out. That is a little bit of a plot twist. That is a little bit of a plot twist for that offense. He's their bigger back, short yardage guy. But, again, Kenneth Walker is a beast. Kenneth Walker is probably excited about the challenge of getting the full complement, the full workload. Yeah, I see Scott here. Charbonnet out for the rest of the season, which could just be 2 games. George Holani is their next running back. Good preseason, some promise. They should put Jalen Milroe back there. Yeah, Walker can score from anywhere on the field. I expect the Seahawks to win it. I'm not going to backtrack on my pick of Seahawks Patriots Super Bowl. I don't think, like, the Rams almost lost to the Bears. I don't think the Rams go in there and beat them. The 12th man is going to be alive and well. I just don't see it, yo. I don't see it. I do not see the Rams going on the road again. They went to North Carolina. They went to Chicago. And now they got to go to Seattle. I don't see them going up there and beating the Seahawks. You may disagree. Jonathan said, Peter Schwartz said it on the warm-up show with Al. I am not listening to WFAN that early. I'm asleep. But I missed that. So that's what these lives are good for too, right? If I miss something, somebody in the chat, keep me in bounds, right? If somebody knows something better than, or knows something that you don't, they should be correcting you. I always said that on the radio. I used to hate that on the radio. Like, I'm not ever getting on the radio as if I know everything or if I've read everything or as if I'm like, you know, you can only know so much and you can only prepare so much and read so much. People got to kind of help you out. People got to call up, help you out, keep you in bounds. So, yeah. Back to the TikTok chat. What are we going to do with Spencer Jones? Is he going to rot in the minors till he's 30? He can. I don't think they view Spencer Jones as a piece to this postseason run. I don't think they look at Spencer Jones as a guy that's going to help them win the World Series. Okay. And adding to my notes, see? Like I said, I have a show coming up on WFAN on Friday, and so I can put in my notes as we get to the NFC Championship. Zach Charbonnet ruled out. Torn ACL. And George Holani, the backup. But I don't know. I'll do some research on whoever the hell that guy is. Anyway. As we are approaching 2.5 hours, I said I'm going to rock for 3 hours here. I want to talk more about the coaching cycle, right? So we've got into the divisional round, or not the divisional round, the championship round, and we got into the picks or my thoughts around who's going to win. But I do want to take a dive into Rob Saleh, Brian Daboll, and Mike McDaniel, and Jeff Hafley. So let me start to cook some of that up right now. And I'm going to play some beats right now. And I'll throw the Be Right Back on. And I'm going to load up some stuff. Okay? Hey, mic check 1 2, like, right back, be right back, like that. I know y'all hear my beats, I know y'all hear me speak, I know y'all hear my beats, I know y'all hear me speak, and we're back. I loaded it up, okay? I loaded it up. I think as we're talking about these coaches and the coaching carousel, it's only right to start with John Harbaugh. So John Harbaugh is the new head coach of the New York Football Giants. And I thoroughly enjoyed his press conference yesterday. I just like press conferences. I'm a football guy. I know they don't mean anything. I know so many guys have botched their press conferences and gone on to be good coaches. I know guys have botched the press conference and not gone on to be good coaches. But, there was something different about just the look and feel of John Harbaugh coming in there and having that press conference because he's proven, he's done it. We all know who John Harbaugh is. We don't doubt for a second that he's going to come in and be able to lead the Giants to victories. He's only won in the NFL, So a guy that has only won in the NFL, that's what you expect, right? You expect him to win. So, there was a few things that popped up. Let's just run into them, right? Like people talked about what players were there. I saw Fireside Giants, and shout out to them, put Tyrone Tracy cut his engagement trip short and returned to New Jersey after John Harbaugh was named head coach. Take it for what you want. I take it like this. New teacher in school, new coach in school. It would behoove you to be there, right? On the day that this guy comes to work for the first time, to be able to shake his hand and get in front of the man, it's just a leg up in the game. Now, there was a lot made about Jackson Dart. There was a lot made about Jackson Dart not being there. But if you guys saw, Jackson Dart was in Utah. He went back home, and he was with his girl back home at the Utah game, at the Utah Mammoth game. So he wasn't there. But as I'm talking about guys like Tyrone Tracy maybe trying to get a leg up, and then also guys on the offensive line, a lot of those offensive linemen were there. Jackson Dart doesn't need a leg up. Jackson Dart already met with him for 2 hours. Jackson Dart does not need to be there. Jackson Dart does need to, try to impress. He's the quarterback. No matter what, Jackson Dart is a starting quarterback. He does not have to get into the good graces of John Harbaugh. If anything, John Harbaugh already. Oh, my package got delivered. I'm gonna have to go downstairs. Keith, can you talk? I'm on live right now. I'm on live. I'm getting off in half an hour. I'm on live. I can at 4:30. I need a secretary. I need somebody else that could be yeah, what you need? And go downstairs and get my package. I have some merch delivered for on Saturday and Sunday. If you're coming out, I got some merch delivered. I am losing my train of thought. Oh, John Harbaugh and who came to it doesn't matter who was there and who wasn't there. John Harbaugh was there. And I just loved what he had to say. So John Harbaugh said interviews will start tomorrow for his coordinators, said he wants coaches who are teachers, a message he learned from his father, Jack. There was a lot made about the Giants offensive line coach, Brasillo. Let's see if I can find the tweet. Giants offensive line coach. And Carmen Brasillo. So I think Carmen Brasillo has a leg up in the game because speaking about his players, speaking about the offensive lineman being in attendance, off the top of my head, I know John Michael Schmitz was there, Greg Van Roten was there, James Hudson was there, Josh Azudu was there. Smart to have all of those offensive linemen there in the building, especially if you are trying to make sure that this guy keeps his job. So here it is with, kind of the nod that he probably will keep his job. The Giants have strongly recommended retaining offensive line coach Carmen Bricillo per Dan Duggan. Shout out to Dan Duggan from The Athletic. I've had him on my show at least 3 times. Dan Duggan doesn't expect Harbaugh to bring his O-line coach from Baltimore and believes Bricillo returning could happen. Continuity. The Giants' O-line was actually decent this year. They were pretty good this year. I'll give them good. I'll give them good. So bringing back the architect of the offensive line, a guy that they love, cool. And, shout out to Big Mac from WFAN. I think Big Mac said something along the lines of, like, he ran into Carmen Bricillo at, like, a Frank's Big and Tall store. I'm not even making this up as a joke. Like, I was listening to Big Mac, I think, last week, say that he ran into the offensive line coach at, like a Big and Tall store, for XL clothing, and they exchanged numbers, and so cool. I hope he does stay with the team, and then maybe Big Mac has an inside track to the Giants in that way. So most people expect Todd Monken to come along for the ride as well. This is a black fitted, bro. This is a J Frost. Let me see if you can see. J Frost edition. You see this on the side? It says New York love, but New York don't love you. Hold on for the TikTok chat. New York love, but really it says New York don't love you. Remember that. Because there's all these people walking around with I love New York hats and I love New York shirts. New York don't love you. New York will eat you alive, bro. Watch yourself. So yeah, Todd Monken, Carmen Bricillo. I'm not sure who they're gonna bring in as the defensive coordinator. I can't call that. Did I lose my mic here? Can you guys still hear me on TikTok? I'm not getting a reading on TikTok. Can you still hear me? I know they can hear me on YouTube, Twitch, because I can get a reading there. I'm not getting a reading. Okay. For some reason, I'm not getting a reading on the TikTok Live studio. And I'm not getting the feedback in my headphones either. Whatever. As we proceed, J Sports says, when is the Yankees Bellinger press conference? Maybe Monday. It's Wednesday. I don't expect them to do it. I don't expect them to do it tomorrow, and they probably can't pull it together for Friday. I'm not sure where he is in the world. He's got to travel. Okay, good. TikTok, you can hear me. Cool. I just was like not getting that reading on TikTok Studio. I was worrying because before people were like, "Yeah, we couldn't hear you." The audio was off. But back to my train of thought with the Giants as we get more into the conversation around these head coaches or whatever. Harbaugh should bring Todd Monken with him. Maybe he retains Carmen Bricillo. Who do you think is going to be the defensive coordinator? I don't think it's going to be Wink Martindale. Wink might get the Jets job. I don't think it's going to be Rex Ryan either. I just think Rex Ryan is a lot. Rex Ryan is a lot of like a big personality. Maybe too big of a personality to come in and be under Harbaugh. Zach Orr was the defensive coordinator down in Baltimore with Harbaugh, and I think he's getting some interest from some other teams. And I don't know who it's going to be, but I know that they're going to be a buttoned-up professional organization now, and you will be able to notice the changes soon. I think they're rebuilding their kitchen, maybe remodeling some of the other things in there already. Let me see what other clips that I had from the John Harbaugh press conference. John Harbaugh said Andy Reid had 4 words for him. Change can be good. So now if Andy Reid is talking to him and he says change can be good, like that's what you want to hear, because Andy Reid was a coach that did good with the Philadelphia Eagles, but did not win until he got to Kansas City with the Chiefs. And they want to win Super Bowls. They want to win Super Bowls. They want to bring the Giants back to prominence. Harbaugh himself said, we want to fight for the right to be called champions in New York City, you know? And I like that. So, okay, here's a couple things about Joe Shane and Chris Mara as well, and then we'll play some clips from YouTube, from Twitter. User 9262 says, great to hear you again, Keith. I'm here on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch, on TikTok, and confirmed you will hear me on WFAN the next 2 Fridays. Stay tuned for that. Okay. Gage says $2.1 billion for salary for players on the Dodgers is absurd. It is absurd. We can't cry about it no longer. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. And I don't know what to tell y'all, man. The Dodgers have a loophole. They're exploiting it. They're very good at what they do. And it is what it is. We're talking NFL right here now. So I liked this part of it, right? Owner Chris Mara, Harbaugh doesn't have final say. It's collaborative. He's the first to admit that if he had final say with everything in the building, he wouldn't be able to do his job. So he's going to be the most important cog in the wheel. Let's put it that way. So I like the fact that the Maras have decided that, hey, our way of doing things has not been working. What do we have to lose? What do we have to lose by giving a proven winner in the NFL as much control as he desires? Nothing. Nothing. So here's Chris Mara on video. And let me turn this up so you guys can hear it on YouTube.
He yelled at me 15 times.
Chris, what was how much you had spoken to him before this process?
Never.
Never?
No.
And so is it just an immediate...
No, I got in contact with him after a conversation with Tom Coughlin.
Love that.
And
love that.
He's the one that put us together.
Chris, was Tom over the top?
He was absolutely over the top. He yelled at me 15 times before it was done. And
You got to love that. You got to love that. Chris Mara asked about his relationship with John Harbaugh prior to this. He said he didn't have one. So Art Stapleton writes, advice from Tom Coughlin to Chris Mara about John Harbaugh and his possible interest in the Giants job following his firing in Baltimore. He said, get your ass down there. I just played the video of Chris Mara saying that Tom Coughlin literally yelled at him multiple times. John Mara and Steve Tisch were both in attendance. Chris met the media representing ownership. Now, what I also love about this whole setting, this whole thing that they did, Chris Mara drove down to Maryland to meet with him. And I'm like, what is this now? No, okay. So Chris Mara drove down to Maryland to meet with John. And I love that because that's how you make it real. And I'm gonna play something for you in a second from the Ravens owner. Let me see if I can pause this because it's playing in my ear right now. Steve Biscotti to me just comes off as like not a good guy, but I love that the Giants were proactive and they weren't waiting. I love that the Giants said, this is our guy, right? A lot of you Giants fans were about to settle for Mike McCarthy. A lot of you Giants fans would have been good with John Gruden. A lot of you Giants fans thought that Kevin Stefanski was the answer. No. One man's trash is another man's treasure. As soon as the Ravens fired that man after a missed field goal, the Giants said, we found our coach. We got our guy, finally. And Giants fans are dancing in the street. And I give Chris Mara a ton of credit for stepping up with the health of John Mara not being so good, with him having cancer and fighting his battle with cancer. I'm not going to put that picture up of John Mara and John Harbaugh because it hurts your heart to see. If you've been watching the Giants and the NFL for years and you know what John Mara looks like, to see John Mara in the shape that he's in now, going through chemotherapy and fighting cancer, it hurts. It literally is like tough to see. But I'm happy for that man, and I'm happy for his family, and I'm happy that they went out there to go get a proven commodity, not another offensive coordinator, not somebody that's had some success, not a defensive coordinator. Like, they went out there and got the best available coach on the market, and he wanted them to. Let's play some clips now. Let's play, not Steve Biscotti yet. Let's play John Harbaugh, and I'm going to speak about how he spoke and something that he said that really stood out to me as well. All class personified, and just a pro, not his first rodeo. This guy's been doing this for 18 years in the NFL. They hired a guy with a ton of experience that is unfazed by any of this. So here's John Harbaugh speaking yesterday.
But now as we begin a new chapter in New York, our focus is simple. It starts with building a team that is physical and tough, that's capable of overwhelming their opponent from beginning to end, and especially at the end, that understands how to finish, that is smart and disciplined, that plays the game the way it should be played, and that everybody watching it, including those playing it, will be proud of. But now as we begin a new chapter in New York, our focus is simple. It starts with building a team that is physical and tough, that's capable of overwhelming their opponent from beginning to end, and especially at the end, that understands how to finish, that is smart and disciplined, that plays the game the way it should be played, and that everybody watching it, including those playing it, will be proud of. But now as we begin a new chapter in New York.
Okay, now it's played multiple
times.
Is simple. Let me remove this. And I see on TikTok, you guys are like, oh, I can't hear. Yeah, because the thing is, and I think I will do a StreamYard stream to TikTok, but it's not. I rather use TikTok Studio and stream to you guys this way than to use the third-party StreamYard app, because you don't get all of the features. You can't see all of this stuff. Like, if I stream on StreamYard, excuse me. If I stream on StreamYard to TikTok, I wouldn't be able to see that we've had almost 3,000 likes. I wouldn't be able to see that 48 people have followed me. And make sure y'all topping me off. Pause. Make sure y'all topping me off, because I'm pretty sure right now on TikTok I am going to break. Come on, bro. By the end of this stream, can we break 6,000? Can we break 6,000 by the end of the stream? I need 38 followers to break 6,000 on TikTok. I've got 43,000 on Twitter, 26,000 on Instagram. Show me some love. Share this. Send it to a friend and be like, bro, this guy's talking ball. This guy played a little college football. This guy knows a little baseball, football, basketball, hockey. When we get to the World Cup, I'll probably be over there. I got a little motion. Your boy KM, the motion from Ocean. But anyway, back to my train of thought here. I got one more to play. So you guys, what I'm saying is you guys cannot hear on TikTok the things that I'm sharing, because StreamYard only allows me to share them to the platforms that I am streaming on, which are YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. If you want to switch from TikTok and go to one of those platforms, then you can get the full experience. If not, you just got to sit here and look at me and my fake hair. So let me share the Chris Mara. Here's another Chris Mara one. Okay.
Think about the whole management structure changing now, like as a whole, like reporting directly to ownership rather than to the general manager.
Listen, life has plenty of changes, and we've tried both ways.
I like this.
We're just comfortable doing this with him. I think with anybody else, maybe it might not have happened that way, but everyone was agreement. So
I like this, right? Like, this is what I was saying before about the Maras doing it their own way these last few years and not having success. He said life has a lot of changes. A lot of y'all be so afraid to change some stuff. A lot of y'all be so afraid to change, you let your whole life go by doing things that you don't want to do, or doing the things that you want to do and not knowing you're doing the wrong things because you're afraid of change. The Giants are not afraid of change here. They are literally giving their organization to a winner and saying, lead us to victory. And if that turns the Giants into a playoff contender, good job. If that turns the Giants into a Super Bowl winner, amazing job. Amazing job deciding, hey, we don't know better than this guy. This guy's been to the playoffs 12 out of 18 years. This guy's won a Super Bowl. We haven't done anything in the last 10, 15 years. So, man, kudos to the Giants for just like not being stuck on stupid and not being so stubborn and not having their nose in the air to be like, yo, we're the New York Football Giants. Now I want to bring in something that, like, it rubbed me the wrong way because I felt like John Harbaugh was all class. He sent a sincere thank you out to the Baltimore Ravens. And let me share that with you now. I'm sure some of you saw the press conference, but I'm kind of recapping here. And I know you guys want to talk baseball. And I know you guys keep popping up like, yo, Freddie Peralta now, Cody Bellinger, Keith, what do you think about Framber Valdez? I think about all of this stuff. I opened up the stream talking about all of this stuff, but I had planned on getting to some of the football. And this is also me warming up for my WFAN show Friday and next Friday, where we'll have 4 hours to talk about all this stuff. So let's go to John Harbaugh and his thank you to the Baltimore Ravens organization, which I loved. I could really appreciate this.
To the Ravens, I'd like to extend a profound thank you to Steve and Ozzie for the opportunity, for the guidance that they provided every single day, to all the players and coaches who have been unrelenting brothers all along the way through the year.
I love it. I love it, John. You know, he thanked the owner, he thanked the GM, and then he thanked all of the guys that were his brothers and were unrelenting. It's a team. It's an organization. He is the face and the head coach, but he doesn't get to play, right? You need the buy-in from everybody else. I thought he aced it, and I thought that him saying Steve Bisciotti's name after what Steve Bisciotti had to say about him, come on, bro. All right, so now I'm about to go to Steve Bisciotti, who didn't really make himself look great here. He didn't. Let's see. Okay, perfect, right? I'm lining these up, and I'll probably clip this up and put this out later. Steve Bisciotti fired this man over the phone, and that's why I'm talking about Chris Mara driving from New Jersey down to Maryland to go meet him face to face. You think that didn't mean something to him? You think that didn't matter to John Harbaugh that the New York Football Giants sent one of their owners in person down, and the owner of the Ravens that he worked for the last 18 years put blood, sweat, and tears, gave his whole 18 years of life to? The guy fired him over the phone? Let's go to that. Let's go to that right now. You gotta be kidding me.
And when you've known John obviously a very long time, you're very close. Why the decision to fire him initially over the phone? And then secondly, what was the conversation, the gist of the conversation that you guys had a couple of days later?
Yeah, good question. I never in my mind, I never dreamed of firing somebody by phone, but the reality is when I made my decision on Tuesday afternoon, I was home and he was in his car heading to his house. And I thought it would kind of be a jerk move to call him up and say, hey, coach, meet me at the office in an hour. I mean, he probably would have said, yeah, Steve, I'd rather not. Why don't you just tell me over the phone? And when I did tell him the decision that I made, I said, I'm really sorry about doing this over the phone. I wish.
All right, enough. All right. So, listen, after 18 years, you don't fire that man over the phone. How far does he live from the complex? How far does he live from the building? You set that meeting up. You give that man some time. The Dallas Cowboys gave Matt Eberflus some time. The Miami Dolphins gave Mike McDaniel some time. You know what I'm saying? You give that man his respect. You don't call him over the phone and say you're fired. So, like, I don't know. To me, I think that's super whack. I think that, like, that's hella lame. And then, once a lame, always a lame. So Steve Biscotti, he doubled down on some things that made me say, like, this guy didn't carry himself the right way. And I hope the Ravens never win anything. Let's play this next. And some people are gassing him up.
That's what I was anxious to hear. If Tyler Loop makes that field goal, is John Harbaugh still here coaching this team?
For a week. I don't really have anything to tell you. Holy shit, Mike, wouldn't that be awesome? And I think those offensive linemen didn't improve.
We haven't heard from you about that, so I was anxious to hear.
None. I literally wanted to call Tony and say, you remember John 18 years ago?
Say will Lamar have in the head coach selection?
A lot to say, but he has no power.
Broncos 8-2-3. I know you can't hear it.
They have opinion. A lot of you have put your heart and soul into this team, and we appreciate most of it.
All right, bro. Get this guy up out of here. It's one thing when you're already a billionaire owner. It's another thing to be smug, arrogant, and carrying yourself like you are God's gift to earth. Your team lost to the freaking Steelers. Cooked. You had Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, a good defense. That's on you too. That's on you too. So I just think that I think that Biscotti looks like a clown, and John Harbaugh comes out of this looking shiny clean. Here's the last thing from Ravens owner Steve Biscotti in the postseason press conference that he had versus what we just saw with John Harbaugh. Let's run it on TikTok. On TikTok, you won't be able to hear it. And Jay Scalia, go play in traffic, bro. You're a loser. You're a lame, and like nobody cares that you're in the chat. But I see you. I see you. Let's play
it. I felt it was the right time to make the change. If not now, when? I guess is what I'm saying. Next year, I heard that we were contemplating, I wasn't even the decision maker, contemplating replacing the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator. And that may have been the final nail in the coffin. I thought, if I'm already here and my gut is telling me it's time, why would I let John rebuild an entire staff? Because I'm going to be sitting here next year saying, what the hell did I do last year? Last year was the time. So it wouldn't have been fair because I think we had run our course. And if I didn't have the guts to say to my partners, you're on the fence and I'm on the fence and I'm slipping on this side, and I believe that your love for John and your respect for John
Listen to this.
is holding you back this much.
I'm done. He said he had to take his love and respect for John out of it. The guy next to him, it's his best friend, and how he just and listen, it ran its course for the Baltimore Ravens. That's why I said one man's trash is another man's treasure. Good for the Giants. Good for the Giants that they couldn't stand this guy anymore. Evan Roberts used the analogy, the old adage of, hey, for every hot girl, there's a guy that's tired of banging her. Yeah. John Harbaugh is the hot girl. The Ravens are the guy that's tired of banging her. But, that's not true. Because, I hate that analogy. There's a lot of hot girls that get wifed up and their husbands are banging them for eternity and they don't ever get tired of it. And there's a lot of guys that have that hot girl and they do get tired of her and cheat on her and fumble the bag, and then they can't get her back and they never find a baddie of that level. So, hey, to each his own. To each his own. I think that Steve Biscotti did not make himself look great, and I think that John Harbaugh comes out of this looking shiny. Brian says, what do you say to Bo not committing to more than 1 year in his press conference? Bo, what are we talking about? Bo? We're not talking about Bo Nix. Bo, what do you say to Bo not committing to 1 year in his press conference? Brian, follow up with that. I'm missing something. Whose press conference? Oh, Bo Bichette. I did not hear Bo Bichette's press conference today. I've been live since the Cody Bellinger news broke. But I mean, speaking of that, why would Bo Bichette commit to more than 1 year? He's got an opt-out after this year. This could just be a prove-it year, where if he goes and he balls out and dominates for the Mets, he can opt out, get out of Queens, and go elsewhere and get another big contract. And not for nothing, there are guys like Edwin Diaz who play in Queens and they decide, I don't want to go back. I want to win. I'm going elsewhere. So if it's a disaster this year for Bo Bichette, why would he lock himself into more than 1 year when his contract contractually gives him an opt-out? Rain Joy, what up? Pam, how's it going? Shout out to Ray. Shout out to Yankees girl. Shout out to Kulux on Twitch. Rabbi Shaim Zealous said, would Bo to the Phillies? What? Rabbi, he had his press conference today with the Mets. You know, he had his press conference today with the Mets. We're going to keep this rolling. We're going to keep this rolling as we got 10 minutes until we are 3 hours in on my YouTube, Twitter, Twitch live stream. And as I am inching closer and closer to 6,000 followers on TikTok. If you're on the TikTok chat and you don't follow me, hit follow, send it to a friend that likes to talk football, basketball, baseball, hockey, maybe somebody in the greater New York City area that you know, that's in Jersey, that's in PA, that's in Connecticut, that's in New York. They may know me, they may not know me, but man, we're on the grind. I see we've made a couple cents. We've made 8 cents off this live stream. I see we have over 3,300 likes, 6 gifters, and 22 diamonds. And I see 57 people have followed me. 58 now people have followed me. And let me look at Twitter to see what that number is. And when we hit 600 or 6,000 rather, we'll celebrate that. We're at 5,973. 27 away. 27 away. And if we don't get there right now, maybe we'll get there later. But I got to get there as far as, moving this along. So shout out to Alex in the chat who says, what's good, Keith? Shout out to Jack who said, Bo Bichette. I was thinking Bo Nix, man. I'm in football world. So let's finish on the football conversation. So I just cooked Steve Biscotti. I just, put John Harbaugh over, and that was something that I wanted to do. I think it was Rob Saleh first who had gotten hired in like the middle of the night, and Jeff Hafley as well. Let's go up and pull this, which I think needs to be updated now as well. PCal2519, I see you. Appreciate you, bro. The head coach tracker. The Titans are set to hire Rob Saleh as their next head coach. 6 head coaching vacancies remain. Kevin Stefanski has gone to the Atlanta Falcons. There are a lot of people down there in Atlanta that aren't liking this move, but I think they'll like it if it comes to fruition on the field with that offense. Jeff Hafley goes to the Miami Dolphins, and my thoughts around that are just simply like, here we go again with the Dolphins. The Dolphins don't ever win anything. The Dolphins hire another coordinator, an up-and-coming coordinator. You have Quinn Ewers as your quarterback. You just paid Tua. You need an offensive mind here to replace Mike McDaniels. You're about to take a step backwards. Thoughts on Bryce Underwood? Did he leave Michigan? Did he leave Michigan? You use spam in the chat. Did Bryce Underwood? Let me search. Did he? Because I'm pretty sure he said he was coming back to Michigan. Did he enter the portal? Let's see. Breaking news. Michigan coach makes stunning admission about star quarterback Bryce Underwood. No, there's nothing there. You scared me for a minute. We will get to Brian Dable. Alex, give me 1 minute. So John Harbaugh takes the job with the Giants, and Rob Saleh, former Jets head coach, takes the job with the Titans. Now, I think the Titans looked at this, and if you're on YouTube, if you're on Twitter, if you're on Twitch, you can see it. On TikTok, you guys can't see it. I'm sorry. Adam Schefter posted a picture with Rob Saleh and DeMeco Ryans together when they were under the 49ers. And the text says, Texans head coach DeMeco Ryans and new Titans head coach Rob Saleh, 2 former 49ers defensive coordinators, are now head coaches in the same division and will square off twice a year. I think the Titans got crafty here. I think the Titans got smart here. I think the Titans said, we like Rob Saleh because he reminds us of Mike Vrabel a little bit, but also he knows what we need to know about our opponents. He knows what we need to know about who we're facing. So I will go back to the big screen here and say this, right? I was laughing my ass off at the thought that the Titans went to get Rob Saleh after seeing this. Now, let me see. Can I share? I can share. And again, you guys won't see it on TikTok, but hey, that gives you a reason to go to my YouTube, go to my Twitter, go to my Twitch channel. And, bro, what is this, bro? Okay. I'm still getting a lot of texts. I'm still getting a lot of stuff. Share screen coming up. I thought it was hilarious when the first post came out connecting Rob Saleh to Liam Cohen, and you got to remember this moment from during the season. Let's play it.
And the 49ers 21.
You guys remember this? Rob Saleh, Liam Cohen. You guys remember this? Okay, so when the Jaguars faced the Niners in Jacksonville after that game, Rob Saleh and Liam Cohen got into a heated back and forth. I think it was over some signals coming into the game. I guess Liam Cohen felt like Rob Saleh was stealing some signals, something like that. Lamar, what's up? Sent, what up? Yu, what's up? Jonathan, what's up? I love that because I'm like, okay, if the Titans are that petty where they said, yo, we're about to get this guy because now he's going to face off against Liam Cohen twice, who we know he does not like. Liam Cohen being the coach of the Jaguars, and it'll be his second year next year. D'Amico Ryans and the Texans, we know that he knows him well. And the fact that Rob Saleh, and this is a sticking point here to stick the landing here, Rob Saleh got fired by the Jets, and I feel like people in NFL circles look at the Jets as a laughingstock in NFL Siberia, and they basically look at the Jets as like, yo, whatever happened over there, that's not going to happen with us. Whatever happened over there, like that's where quarterbacks go to die, that's where coaches go to die, that's where GMs go to die. Whatever happened over there in Florham Park will not happen with us. Robert Saleh, come on down. Congratulations. Congratulations, Rob Saleh. Right back in the saddle after an excellent year where you take the 49ers defense into Philly with all backups and you're able to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. That earns you a head coaching spot. And I think I heard Craig Carton say he's got 9 kids. He just had his 9th kid this past year. Good grief. I'm struggling with 1. 9 kids, never. 5 kids, never. If I am blessed enough to have another kid to go with my son Jackson, that's it. I'm capping it at 2. I can't imagine having 9 kids. What? God bless his wife. God bless Rob Saleh's wife, Mrs. Saleh. Anywho, as we proceed, talking about the head coaches in the NFL, the coaching carousel, I don't really have too much on Jeff Hafley. I think the next place that I got to go, I got to send some shots again. You know, I got to rain some shots off on the Buffalo Bills. They're going out super sad. Not only did Josh Allen turn the ball over 4 times in the game and lose them the game, they go on to fire Sean McDermott after Sean McDermott gave this passionate speech defending them, and they posted it on their own Instagram and Twitter. What the hell is going on? So there will be 10 new head coaches in the NFL next season. The last time that happened was in 2022. Brian Dable, Mike McDaniel, Matt Eberflus, Nathaniel Hackett, Dennis Allen, Josh McDaniels, Doug Peterson, and Lovie Smith. Breaking news, the Bills have fired head coach Sean McDermott. Now, I know people cried about the call at the end of the game. Stop it. It was a pick. It damn sure wasn't a catch. He didn't complete the catch through the fall or whatever you want to say. And I know people were talking about the pass interference calls at the end of the game, but yo, Josh Allen had his chances. That's what I kept saying. He had his chances. It was time to wrap that game up. We were trying to get to Seattle for the night game. Ain't nobody got time for that. We don't got all night. We don't got all night for that. But like, now I got to share this because this guy goes and sticks his neck out for the city. And how do the owners repay him? It's a cold-ass game. Cold-ass game, man. Let's run it. Let's play it. Let's run it right now.
I'm saying it because I'm standing up for Buffalo, damn it. I'm standing up for us. Because what went on is not how it should go down, in my estimation. That play, these guys spent 3 hours out there playing football. I'm saying it because I'm standing up for
Have a seat, Sean McDermott. I'm standing up for Buffalo, damn it. I'm standing up for us. Those guys played 3 hours out there. It shouldn't come down to that. Yep. Josh Allen shouldn't have 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles. You're right. James Cook put one on the ground. You're right. It shouldn't come down to that, coach. You're coaching the team. You can't get into halftime. Take a knee. You're coaching the team. And as soon as you want to stick your neck out for the team in the postgame and come at the officiating, they fired your ass. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that nuts? You say you're standing up for Buffalo, and you know what they say?
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
They say bye. They say bye. Russell says, I'm confused. Do you blame Cooks? James Cook fumbled the ball. Do I blame the game on him? Is that what you're saying? You can't blame the game on a running back that I think rushed for over 100 yards in the game. But 5 turnovers in the game, you're not supposed to win. You're not supposed to win. Nobody wins in the NFL turning the ball over 5 times. Go look it up. It's near impossible. Nobody wins a playoff game, probably never. Nobody wins losing the turnover battle 5-2, 5-1. 3 fumbles lost and 2 interceptions thrown. So cry me a river. Oh, you're talking about Brandon Cooks. Do I blame Cooks? No. It's a tough play. It's a tough play. He didn't come down with the ball. It's an interception. No. What I blame is the whack-ass ownership of the Buffalo Bills. They are clowns. They're an absolute clown show. Let me play this. Let me play this because I saw this today. We'll share this from my very own Twitter account. We'll share this from me posting this morning. Because, actually, let's play this first. Because there's a cadence here to all of this. They put out a statement, and it's shameful. After they fired Sean McDermott, proofread. Who does this? Who did this? Who drafted this up? So if you can read this, and I know you guys can't read it on TikTok, but it says, Sean has done an admirable job. An admirable job? They use the word admiral. ADMIRAL. Oh, Lord. Like, ChatGPT didn't write that. If some intern did it, some young person, somebody's got to proofread that. Can we get some quality assurance? Like, that is a joke. That is a joke. So I like to make jokes. Here's the joke that I doubled down with. Because today, these guys come out and they're taking shots at young Keon Coleman that they drafted. And they just look like absolute freaking clowns. Let's run it. Let's run it. Let's run it.
Yeah, can I interrupt? I'll address the Keon situation. The coaching staff pushed to draft Keon. I'm not saying Brandon wouldn't have drafted him, but he wasn't his next choice. That was Brandon being a team player.
All right, shut up, bro. So Terry Pagula's old ass is talking about it was the coaching staff that wanted Keon Coleman. And a video came out today where it clearly shows, right? Let me show you this now.
Big surprises. Did you? Which one? BTS, it's only 4, 5, 6.
I'm glad he ran that.
Oh.
Help you get him.
Oh, you're glad he ran a slow 40 time.
4.54.
Oh, and Gabe Davis ran a slow 40 time too, I guess. So what's the deal, bro? They look like an absolute clown show in Buffalo. Terry Pagula, Brandon Beane, jokes. And so what I said today, and if you're looking at this on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, we got another goofy in the chat. Says, wow, the whole Nets fan base is in here. You're just on TikTok. That's one platform, bozo. I am streaming across my platforms to over 1,800 people right now. I've been on the radio, which reaches 1 million people in a night. I don't care about audience size. I'm going to do me whether there's one person or 100,000. Thanks for coming out. You're watching me. I don't know who you are. And now back to keeping the same energy for the Buffalo Bills. I said, let me guess. The coaching staff also wrote admiral and not admirable on the press release firing the coach. These guys are looking super lame. Just say you have a new stadium and want it to go in a new direction after Josh Allen blew it. Just say that. Instead of making it about everyone else and everything else and throwing Sean McDermott under the bus, say we got a brand new stadium. Our quarterback sucked in the playoffs in the big moment. He's a turnover machine his whole career. But we want to hire a new coach to start this new era of Bills football in our new building. The end. The end. It's like, that's all you got to say, bro. That's all you got to say instead of doing all this other stuff. Shout out to Ray Condi, said, you know what? I shared it on Facebook stream. So now we're on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and Ray's Facebook. That's my dog. That's my dog. Showing love, supporting, showing love. It don't take you nothing to show love. It don't cost you nothing to show love. J-Boy said, miss you on the fan, Keith. They gonna miss me a little when I'm gone. Miss me a little when I'm gone. Ooh. Sorry to be missed. Sorry to leave you guys hanging. My son and my wife were missing me. I had to make a life decision and a life change, but I'll be back. I'll be back Friday, this Friday and next Friday. Only on the Fan in New York. WFAN. Okay. So as we're wrapping things up here, we're over 3 hours. You got to do a long stream. You got to do a long stream. It don't matter. It don't matter. MNC goes, singing's not your strong suit. No, I rap. I'm not a singer. I'm a rapper. I rhyme. I kick raps. I kick raps in my slaps. You know what I mean? I don't need to sing. I'm the king. You know what I mean? I'm like that. It's a light pack. Live on TikTok, I might rap. Bars. Bars. Oh, I got the bars off. Did I just get a couple bars off in the chat? Hold on. Can we get the air horn? Flex, drop a bomb. See, you guys on TikTok can't get my sound effects either. You can't get my sound effects. You might be able to get the Funk Master Flex Night. Funk Master Flex Night. Hard to get a ticket. Funk Master Flex Night. So, yeah, we're wrapping this up on the NFL. And then we'll just go to the chat. And I know you guys want to sneak some baseball stuff in there to wrap this thing up. And we will. And we will. I know I told my guy Rob Parker at 4:30 call me, so I may have to take that call if he calls. I'm live, and I'm trying to continue to entertain. And like I said, this TikTok is, if you're on TikTok and you're not following me, you are stopping us from getting to the 6,000 followers celebration. I'm just putting it on you. I'm just telling you how it is, I'm just telling you how it is. A booga 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 booga. All right. So last but not least, as we talk about the coaching carousel and whatnot, we talked about John Harbaugh and his press conference. We talked about McDermott being fired. I don't know if he's going to get another job. It's interesting. There's a couple things that started percolating out there for coordinators and coordinator type jobs. And I don't know. I pay attention to the NFL and things like this. So it's interesting to see what develops out here. Here's one. Here's a guy that people were saying, why doesn't he get head coaching consideration for all these other years? He went from the Dynasty Chiefs to the bum Manders in D.C. to bear down to now Eric Bieniemy, offensive coordinator Matt Nagy, has an expiring contract in Kansas City. Kansas City is going to move forward with a new OC, and Bieniemy is a legitimate option to return. Go back home, coach. Go back home, EB. Go back home, Eric Bieniemy. Do your thing, Pop. Here's another one that I think is very interesting and fits this guy's persona and fits this guy's style. Former Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel is set to join Jim Harbaugh's Chargers coaching staff as offensive coordinator. Mike McDaniel wants to go from Miami to L.A. He ain't worried about getting a head coaching job. He can go duck out there in the hills. He can go duck out there on the beach with his wife and his kids, and he gets to coach Justin Herbert. Amazing. Amazing. If that actually transpires, amazing for him to get out of Miami and go land with Harbaugh and go land with Justin Herbert and go land in La La Land. Okay, let me see. I think that's pretty much everything I had. Oh, no, there was one more thing that I had under the coordinators, under the possible coordinators. I know somebody in the chat was like, yo, you're going to talk about Brian Daboll? Brian Daboll has had interest from the Philadelphia Eagles at D.C. Brian Daboll has had also some rumored interest from the Buffalo Bills now as head coach. This came across the timeline today, and I was like, oh, interesting. Let me see if I can pull it up for you guys right quick on YouTube and TikTok and everything else. Where is it? My eyesight is terrible on this computer. That's why I had to. And these aren't even prescription glasses. These are just blue light glasses. So I don't get headaches from being on this damn screen and on the phone all the time. But here we go. Boom. Diana Rossini reports, Eagles are conducting their offensive coordinator search with the understanding that Brian Daboll wants the Bills' head coaching job. Daboll is expected to wind up with the Titans' offensive coordinator job if he doesn't land the Bills' head coaching job. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. I'm happy for these guys that were just here in New York. I did hundreds of shows over these last 4 years talking about Brian Daboll, talking about Rob Saleh. Rob Saleh united with Brian Daboll in Tennessee would be hilarious for us here in New York just to watch. And if they perform well and all of a sudden they're good with Cam Ward, who we all saw Hard Knocks, or not even Hard Knocks, we all saw the behind the scenes. The Giants tried to trade up for Cam Ward before they got Jackson Dart. If Brian Daboll can go back to Buffalo and coach Josh Allen again, that's another full circle moment thing. I bet you Brian Daboll will get him to limit those turnovers. So that's all I've got on the coaching front. We have talked about Cody Bellinger. We have talked about Luis Robert. We have talked about Bo Bichette. We have talked about Kyle Tucker, the Mets, and the Yankees. We have talked about AFC, NFC championship weekend, the matchups that are coming ahead, and who I think to win, or who I think is going to win, who I'd bet on. I think you take the Patriots and the under. I think the Patriots money line or to cover. I don't trust Jarrett Stidham in his first outing of the season. And then I also think the Seahawks win, but that 2.5 is sketchy. I would just take the money line. And I'm not sure about the over-under there, but I would take the under because of that defense. Then we hit John Harbaugh's press conference, and we talked all around John Harbaugh's press conference, and I even took some shots at Steve Biscotti from the Ravens, the owner of the Ravens. And then we hit the NFL coaching carousel and who is going to land where. You know, I didn't speak much about Pittsburgh. I believe Brian Flores and Mike McCarthy are in the running there. I I didn't speak too much about the Browns job. I think Mike McDaniel was rumored there, but who cares? There's a couple other openings, but I don't have time for all of that. We're going to use this last 15 minutes here to take questions from the chat. So you guys line up questions in the chat. I'm going to hit the men's room. I'm going to throw up the break sign right here on YouTube, and I'll give you guys some beats to listen to on YouTube, as I usually do as I take a quick break. Let me do that, and I will be right back. I don't think there's a way message or anything I can do on TikTok for you guys. I don't think there's anything I can put up on the TikTok studio for you guys. But just give me a couple minutes here, and I'll be back. Okay, let me play some beats for the good folks over here on YouTube. Be right back. All right, and I'm back. Thanks for waiting. Let's hit the chat in this last 10 minutes here, and yeah, we'll wrap this thing up, man. As I always say in here, appreciate all y'all in here, bro. Even the haters, even the goofies. Like, some people are just weirdos, right? Like, some people will literally click on somebody's live to watch, and they can't help but be like, no one's watching. You're watching. Like, why would you ever jump into someone's live and comment on the lack of people watching, and you made that number one larger? That doesn't make any sense. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, the dude that jumped in and was like, yo, you only got 22 people watching. It could be 21. Be out. Like, what? Yo, and shout out to you guys, you know, East Coast Dan, Keith, miss you on the radio, my friend. I am back on the Fan Friday. Let me put that up here. Back on the Fan the next 2 Fridays. You know, this 2 months has been an adventure for me in a positive way. I don't know if you guys have ever worked a year of your life at night. I just worked for 4 years of my adult life at night, 4 years of my career at night. 2.5 of those years I did with a newborn son. a brand new human baby, kicking and screaming and waking up and shitting and pissing and bugging out. And, for any parents that are watching in here, when you're a first-time parent, you don't know what you're walking into. And I literally did not know how quickly my son would go from crying in the morning to waking up in the morning and getting out of the crib and walking on his own 2 feet and banging on the door. I want daddy. Daddy, wake up. I want daddy. Why can't I talk to daddy? Is daddy in there? And bro, I was going to sleep at 3:30 on average. And I'm not going to hold you. There are nights where my mind would be racing about who I am, what I'm doing, the journey that God has me on. Am I doing the right thing? Am I putting too much stress on my wife? Am I affecting my son? And I just got to a point where I made a decision that my wife and I decided it'd be best if I pursued some other things and stopped going to sleep on average at 3:30 in the morning and not being able to wake up in the morning. And then also when I had earlier shows, leaving at night. And I can't tell you guys how much better my sleep is. When I get off this live, I'm going to pick these weights up. As a matter of fact, I'm pick these weights up right now, boy. Pick these weights up, boy. Your man's in the gym like, hey, heave, oh. I am trying to change my life. So I made a change in my life, and I appreciate y'all that rock with me. And I appreciate y'all that don't rock with me, because even the people that they play and pretend like they hate me, that's fine. I don't know you. You're helping. The algorithm doesn't treat you any different. The algorithm counts how many people viewed. The algorithm counts engagement and impressions, and the algorithm doesn't decipher haters from supporters. So thanks. All right. Let's go through the chat. We're going to go to YouTube first, as we're approaching 1,800 people watching on YouTube and Twitter combined. It's mostly Twitter. I have 43,000 followers on Twitter. The algorithm on Twitter is amazing, where it can yield that much. I have one person watching on Twitch. Like I said, I got to figure out how to even crack the code on Twitch to get it like that, to even get it to where I'm in the algorithm. But let me see if there's anybody on YouTube that I missed, anybody that said anything of substance. Let's see. Vinny said, once my Mets traded for Robert Jr., I knew we would no longer pursue Bellinger besides re-signing him. Y'all made no moves this offseason. I feel terrible for Judge. His prime was wasted. Okay, let me counter you. We all knew that last night. If you go and check out my Twitter at Keith_McPherson, as soon as I saw the Luis Robert trade, I said, why would they pay Belly now? We all knew that this was coming. We also knew that the Yankees weren't going to make a lot of moves this offseason because they feel good about the talent that they have. They blew games behind Devin Williams. They blew games behind Luke Weaver. They put DJ LeMahieu in the lineup. They forced Jazz to play out of position. They played Jose Reyes at third. They played Oswald Peraza at third. They went into the season without a third baseman. They didn't have Garrett Cole for one game of last year. I digress. The Yankees don't feel like they need to go out there and get Kyle Tucker, Bo Bichette, and everybody in between. We'll see if they're right or wrong about that. Let's see. Ray says, what time is your second show on Friday? I don't know. My boss texts me. I'll be on next Friday at 7. So I have a show Friday of this week on WFAN 10:30 to 2, and then I have a show next Friday 7 to 9:30. See you then. Chris says, are you going back to the Fan? Yes. These next 2 Fridays, I will be in the mix. Shout out to WFAN. I was not fired, but they could easily say, we don't need you. See you never. And I think because of the type of person I am, the type of talent I am, and the way that I've carried myself through this tough decision to step down for the best of my family, it has been understood, hey, This guy could not continue to work in the middle of the night. He stepped down, but he's still available to talk sports. And there is still a good amount of people in the audience that enjoy my brand of talking sports, and I appreciate that. So I'll see you guys back on the radio platform, the almighty WFAN platform, which, like I said, let me see. I think I was on ChatGPT. And if I can find my ChatGPT history, I had asked ChatGPT months ago, like how WFAN reach details. Like if you guys aren't Googling, or if you guys, Google has AI, but if you're not using ChatGPT to find out all of the information you need, like, let's see, Nielsen ratings, yada, 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 gives an average number of people listening during a 15 period in the New York market, 3.0 in recent period ratings. Let's see. Look at it. I'm going to put this on the screen. A 3.0 share corresponds an audience of about 1,010,800 people. So WFAN can reach all in at one time in a 15-minute span. It can reach over 1 million unique users. Like that's ridiculous. So like I say that to say this. I don't care if there are 2 people in my stream. I don't care if there are 200,000 people in my stream. I have done hundreds of shows on a radio station that can reach 1 million people in 15 minutes. You know, so like how goofy would I be if I'm like, oh man, I'm on TikTok and there's only 19 people here. So what? So what? The data says that in New York, Market 1, the biggest radio market in the world, WFAN, the first ever 24/7 sports talk radio station that I occupied at night for 4 years. That's a presidential term. That's a college degree. That's a long time that you can never take away from me. They can never erase that. They can hate on that, but they'll never get to do that. It says that audience is about 1,010,800 people. Unique users over the survey period for WFAN in that market. Say less. Say less, bro. Say less, bro. I don't have to explain all this to you. Go and look it up yourself on ChatGPT. Go use whatever AI you use. Exactly. WFAN is king. WFAN was here long before me. WFAN will be here long after me. I am blessed. Like, bro, I did a part of this stream today where I've had a lot of time to think and reflect. I did a part of this stream today where I talked about how happy I am for guys like Chris McMonagle, who is on Afternoon Drive right now as we speak, Tommy Lugauer, who does my former show, the nighttime show, and Sean Morash, who's in the midday. You want to talk about hiring from within? You want to talk about empowering your own people that help build the station? Those are 3 guys that have spent 15 plus years going to work there every single day. I didn't come up through the WFAN farm system like they did. I was extremely blessed to even get in there. And I'm extremely blessed to get an opportunity to come back in there. I said I was going to hit the chat, but the chat on YouTube, shout out to Darian. He said WFAN is king. Darian said Friday we lit. Bro, hell yeah, we lit. Because like when I get back on the radio on Friday, you know what it's going to do? It's going to restore the feeling. I'm not dead. I evolved. I grew up. When I signed my contract at WFAN, I did not have a kid. The first time they announced that I was going to be on WFAN, I was in Puerto Rico calling in on a honeymoon. On my honeymoon with my wife in Puerto Rico, getting out the pool, going back to the hotel to call into the radio station. So I was freshly married. You should grow. You should evolve or dissolve. You should not be the same person in 2021 that you are now in 2026. I'm not. I'm blessed, though. I'm still just as blessed, more so, because now I got a kid. I got a little boy I'm working on. Jackson McPherson. I got a little boy. I'm going to go get him in an hour. I got a little boy that I'm working on. I'm going to teach him every single thing that I could teach him. I will give him every single thing that I will give him. He's going to be spoiled. But you know what? He's going to have such an advantage in this world, one that I didn't have. I will bestow generational nepotism on this child. And then one day when I'm old and my locks are gray and I got a gray beard and you see this good-looking boy coming right behind me, I'm like, come on, son. And be like, that's your son? I'm going to say, yeah, that's who I was working on, bro. That's who I was raising. That's who I was taking care of. That's who I was teaching. He got my back now. He got my back now. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. All right, it's 5 o'clock. That's it for the stream. Appreciate you guys. I got to roll. So without further ado, let's hit those end credits. We out.
This is the Yes Network right here. Fandom acts of kindness hooking us up right here.
Yeah, he's excelled at every level, and they told this kid, hey, you have the opportunity to win the job in camp. So, like, you got to put Judge in this category. When you're talking about the most impressive season since, like, you got to put A-Rod, like, format, this first year of the new format, the Beast of the East, the Yankees crushed the best division in baseball.
McPherson, WFAN, on stage.
Hey, Keith Mack, man.